Hey guys, welcome to the Fake Nerd Podcast, episode 212, where our democracy may be on fire. It's voting time. Go out and vote. I had midterms. Yeah, I voted too. I had midterms, so I'm fried. There was too much news this week, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Nerdgasm is dead. I'm Sparks Whitty. I'm here with Ryan Eliopoulos, Ben Magnet, and Brandon T. McClure.
This is live. You can't take that back, dude.
You can't take that back. You can't do that.
I don't have a problem.
Confidence.
I don't have a problem. I don't think any listeners have a problem with it either.
Hello, I am that introduction.
I don't even actually exist, so come at me.
That's true. He's just a felted friend. You just can't tell.
Hi guys.
Hi, bud. How's it going?
I'm good.
I'm so good.
How you doing, Ben?
Oh, hold on. Just let me take a sip of my tea right here that Sparks totally spilled. We had a fun before recording chat about many things in regards to the podcast that Sparks mentioned offhandedly, and then we had a fun little chat about Nickelback.
Look,
yeah, we did.
Look, I'll be upfront.
Graph.
My opinions are entirely my own. I think a particular person named Alan, who has to do with Nerdgasm,
Dude, come
is a
on.
butt, and I don't have a problem saying it.
Well, there you go. Listen, it's not like it's not like it's a bridge I ever wanted to cross, but like now it's burned, so it's okay.
Yes, we did it.
Entirely my personal opinion, based solely on an interaction between him and Ben and I, where I was like, nah, this is not a good person.
Well, this
What's
is now
the thing? What's the disclaimer in the beginning of all those documentaries? Like the opinions stated herein are not
my own. Yeah, not representative of the Fake Nerd Podcast or
We're not representative. The commentaries are the actor's own. They do not express the views of whatever.
Yeah.
all right. And that disclaimer was just brought up. How about I go first? I've got so little this week.
Sure.
Okay, do it.
All right. So last week we read the Aliens graphic novel, which is the sequel to Alien 2. So that kind of got me into a thing that was also because of the fact that Dark Horse no longer has the Alien license anymore. So they're kind of wrapping up at the end of the year. They'll have released I think their last Alien comic, which is the original screenplay for the first Alien movie. As a comic book. So I was like, you know what? I think now is the time that I should go through and pick up any Alien or Predator comics that I missed, that I wanted, that I always was like, I'll get it later.
Yeah.
So I did. So I bought the Predator one because of our review. They have a similar hardcover to the Alien one. This beautiful, nice,
big boy.
Nice orange hardcover with orange pages, written by the same guy who wrote Aliens. And it is a sequel to Predator 1. So I decided to pick that one up. That one's not here yet, but I did get the other two, which is I decided to pick up William Gibson's Alien 3, the unproduced script.
Nice.
This is a graphic novel based on what almost was Alien 3, way before David Fincher took on the directing role. William Gibson.
Fun fact about that movie, David Fincher came in that movie like weeks before it started shooting because the production on that thing was horrible and the director was gone, and David Fincher, very much like a Brett Ratner on X-Men 3, he was just like, here's the movie, good luck with it, but Alien 3 turned out pretty okay, I think.
I need to rewatch it. I haven't watched it in years. But this is basically the script that they had when Sigourney Weaver was like, I don't want to return. So it's Hicks, Newt, and Bishop as the main stars of this one.
Nice.
So I'm excited to read it. I haven't read it yet, but so I got that one. And then I also got, in a similar hardcover to Alien and Predator, is their first two Alien versus Predator stories.
Nice.
So
What's that?
this was written by Randy Stradley with art by Phil Norwood. So it's not the same writer. But it's such a nice... Look at this hardcover, guys.
They are cool. Yeah.
That's pretty. So I was like, you know, I got both Predator and Alien. I'll just do it. It's only 2 comics. It's pretty cheap. So got that.
Awesome.
And it's the first one. So, you know, how bad could they be? I had outside of that, I had I guess a family emergency that took me away for most of the week. So I didn't actually get to consume a whole lot of media. You guys know what it was. It's not my place to tell the audience what that was. So we'll leave it at that. But I did get to watch 2 movies. I watched Spider-Man 3, first time in years. That was kind of funny, actually. Not in like a bad way, but like J.K. Simmons is really funny in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, he's always good.
Yeah, he's got the subplot where Elizabeth Banks is trying to... I forget how many stars were in that movie before there were stars.
Elizabeth Banks is in that movie?
She's J. Jonah Jameson's assistant.
She's Betty. She's in all 3 of the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I forget because I always see Elizabeth Banks with blonde hair, and then she had jet black hair.
Yeah. So he needs to not raise his blood pressure, and so she's trying to get him to to take the right medicine. And so whenever he reaches towards the medicine or gets angry, he like buzzes his desk, and it scares him. And I think that's a pretty funny bit.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Not everything in Spider-Man 3 is bad.
No. And then I do think the end where New Goblin and Spider-Man team up is actually pretty cool. It's a cool little moment. It's too short.
All the action in that movie is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like the Sandman stuff is super inventive, and like they're obviously not during the giant fight, but like there's some cool practical stuff they do too.
Yeah.
Because Sam Raimi has like the budget. He's like, hell yeah, let's do some practical Sandman shit.
Yeah.
You can totally tell though. And I think the problem is that Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, and Sam Raimi, because of what we know happened behind the scenes, were done. They were like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I think that it's just, I haven't seen it in a long time. I think that really trying to do Venom justice and Sandman and tying in Sandman to Peter's origin, which I don't think was a bad idea on its own, and do Harry Osborn's arc with Peter is just too many things for one movie.
So I recently listened to an interview with Sam Raimi, because if you listen to any interview in the last 10 years, he's very open about the problems of Spider-Man 3, and it is entirely studio interference. He did not want Venom, and in much like, again, like weeks before shooting, like that script was still being rewritten because he didn't want Venom, and the studio said, you got to put Venom in. So like they were rewriting that shit almost on the daily. And the fact that movie turned out again as fine as it is just a testament to how good Sam Raimi is.
So was the movie just supposed to be Sandman and Harry? And
it was supposed to be like super about family shit.
See, I can see where the good movie is.
Exactly.
In that story.
Yeah.
But then you have to do Venom, and like Venom's such a big bad, and like I don't think Topher Grace is very good as like much. I mean, like Venom's not a good movie, but like that is much more Eddie Brock than Topher Grace.
But Topher Grace will also be the first person to admit he's not good in that movie.
Yes. And he left his huge show to do it. And I'm like, he lost his buddy. That's such a bummer.
Yeah. But I also watched Jurassic World, the first one, the fourth film, Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to watch more dinosaurs. And actually, I like Jurassic World quite a bit. It helps that I can't believe I'm going to say this because normally this doesn't help, but it helps that it's written by 4 people. And there's a lot of like, I'm sure there was a lot of like back and forth of what the story should be. Thematically, it's really interesting, the kind of stuff they tackle that I forget that they tackle. The idea of like, what we've made our theme park attractions and nobody is wowed by these things anymore. The commentary in it, the stuff that calls back to the book with Henry Wu being like this mad scientist stuff. I think that's all pretty solid. I don't think it's a great movie by far, but I liked it. So I started watching Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom today, and that film is not written by 4 people, and I'll leave it at that.
Hey man, sometimes the talent transitions regardless of how many people, Having full control or having no control can lead to good things or bad things. Like
I also really don't know how much like studio interference and other stuff goes into Fallen Kingdom, like guiding its path in particular.
Yeah.
Like I haven't looked into it myself. I agree with you, Mag. Gwen and Venom were too much in Spider-Man 3.
I don't even.
Gwen is so too much that you forget she's there.
I don't know.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Nope.
I remember.
That's right.
Wait.
Yeah.
Bryce Dallas Howard is Gwen Stacy and.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about.
No, she is also in Jurassic World.
Yeah.
She's Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3.
I think Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I would push back on the idea because we haven't really heard anything about any like significant studio interference, probably because it's made $1 billion. But it is definitely just written by Colin Trevorrow and Devin Connolly. I think Derek Connolly. Whereas the other one is not. And I think that also has to do with the fact that Owen loses an entire character. Owen in Jurassic World, the first one, is not as much as I'm a man, this is what men do, as he is in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, where his entire personality is just like, I'm man.
He's more of a stereotype, yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, I like Jurassic World and I like him in it. But they needed to flesh him out more, not restrict him further.
Yes.
This dinosaurs. This hold. So it's in my brain forever.
In Jurassic World, the sequence where he's riding his motorcycle with the raptors is actually just as awesome as I remember. I think that's a really cool moment.
I love that scene.
All right, I want to take a minute to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks because that ended this week. It ended its first season this week. Star Trek Discovery starts this coming Thursday. I think that show was really good. It completely succeeds at being the show it wants to be. Its most clear reference point as like tone would be the Orville, but it's turned up more than the Orville is. But it is still trying to be a humorous homage to Star Trek and it has like, it clearly loves Star Trek and just wants to make a funny Star Trek. Mm-hmm. That's what the writer's good at. That's what he wants to do, but he clearly knows his stuff. There's a ton of really cool callbacks to Star Trek. People claim that it's like too Easter egg heavy. I disagree. I think the Easter eggs are a lot of fun. From musical cues to just like, hey, that person's holding the Spock helmet from 1970 that nobody liked. Like things like that you would never really guess. And they're constantly referencing other Star Trek shows and other characters. Q shows up in the show. Riker shows up in the show. And Riker has an incredible moment. The final episode of that show is just a great Star Trek episode. Full stop.
Is it John Delancey and Jonathan Frakes?
Yes.
Cool. Very cool.
Because it's animation. They could get the voices. They don't have to worry about how old they are.
Yeah.
My own pillow pet peeve. I have a thing about the uniforms in Star Trek. I will not go into here because it's going to make me sound more crazy than I am. But it does kind of add to like maybe the uniform designs are a little too complicated right now. But Riker shows up at the end of that. There's a lot of really good stuff in the last episode where they talk about how the whole season is about like how the Cerritos is like the last people to find out things. That's the ship that they're on. And by the way, Jack Quaid's in it. He's really good. And they talk about like the captain's like, we don't follow up. We leave a planet and we're just like, okay, good luck. We made that contact. We had that episode. We had that story, and then we don't follow up. And then planet reverts back to to what we saved it from, or an alien species becomes far more dangerous than we anticipated because we just don't follow up. And I thought that was a really interesting look and commentary on Star Trek.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. I was really happy. It's the best of the new Trek shows. I highly recommend it for certainly you, Ryan. I think you would love it.
All the people that I follow on Twitter, who are very much in the opinion with you, who are like they didn't really dig Discovery at first. Like this is like the most like fan heavy, like the most loved Star Trek made show. Because like all the references and all the stuff that like only fans would really get, like just aren't in those other shows. Mm-hmm. And it's like that's cool. That it's weird that the best Star Trek show is a adult animated cartoon. Isn't that really weird?
But the reason why it's the best one is very weird. But the reason why it's the best one is that it's the only one that feels like it loves Star Trek.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other ones, I'm sorry, Discovery and Picard, I like you, but you don't feel like you love Star Trek.
Or they don't feel like Star Trek.
Yeah. But Lower Decks did, and it clearly loves Star Trek. And I was really happy that we had that show. I can't wait for season 2.
I'm glad. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Good for Jack Quaid. He's having a hell of a year.
Yeah, and Tandy Newsome is the real star of the show. She was in Spaceflight. I'm glad she's got something better. Cool. She also doing the official Star Trek podcast, which I think is kind of cool. She's apparently a huge Star Trek fan. Yeah, the voice cast is great, and it allows for the cameos. Like I said, Riker shows up, and it is in fact Jonathan Frakes. So that was cool. The last thing I'll just mention is that I started West Wing for the first time ever. I'm on episode 12. It's going well so far. It's a good show.
Is this motivated by the HBO Max trailer drop this week?
1,000,000%. I had no idea Bradley Whitford was in the show.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the man.
And Eddie from The Lost World.
And Eddie from The Lost World. The show is filled with so many stars.
They're series
Daddy
regulars.
Shane.
Yeah.
But because I saw that and I saw Bradley Whitford, I was like, oh shit. So I was like, oh, okay, there's a shot after all.
I have never watched the entire series all the way through. And I debated doing it recently. But I was like, I think I am engaged too much in politics in real life to want to hear about fake politics.
Yeah.
When I want to just watch a show.
No, I feel you.
Even if those politics are not really reflecting the current moment. But I'm still tempted to want to go back. Maybe next year. How things go, I'll feel like it.
Yeah.
It is, it's a prestige drama, but from the late 90s, where there were still 7 seasons to 22 episodes long. So it's a long show.
Yeah. Now, I remember back in high school, my government class, my teacher, we would talk about a certain function of the president or the Supreme Court or whatever, and then you'd be like, hey, here's the West Wing episode going into that. And we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pretty much, because when we watched the West Wing, it actually became a bit of a joke in our class. It's like, hey, is there a West Wing episode for this? And our teacher would be like, actually, yes, but we're not going to watch it. And then the whole class would be like, dang, I really like that show.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested to going back. When I heard that West Wing was coming back, we're like, oh, that's neat. I haven't seen the entire show.
The HBO special, I wasn't sure what it was, but apparently the HBO special is a staged production of one of the episodes from season 3. So it's not like a reunion where it's like, what are these characters doing now? It's
like the community thing or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the community thing.
Yeah. It's a little weird. It's only a little weird because like they're all older and you're like, just
do something new.
Write a new thing. But the thing is like, what are you going to do? Because he's not president anymore, so like, what's the show going to be to have all these people involved with each other? And I kind of get that. Somebody on Twitter did that, though. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was shared around. Somebody did a Twitter thread that was about that entire cast of characters talking to Martin Sheen's former president about if he should make a statement about President Trump not being upfront with the American people about his sickness with the coronavirus.
I love it.
And they captured the characters to a T. This is a very long Twitter thread.
Yeah.
But it's very, very good. And I'm like, that should be the special right there. It's them like calling each other. It's like, because you could easily do it too in quarantine without having had to do the stage production, which is cool that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But you could have just done virtual conversations and had them be the characters today talking about today.
Yeah.
I also, well, since we're talking about the West Wing thing coming up real quick, I did think that someone hit a really solid comment about it where I'm like, it is really cool that they're doing a West Wing special to try to promote people going out to vote. However, I will say that the audience that is interested in West Wing and the audience that doesn't already have an interest in voting are the total polar opposites of the Venn diagram.
Yeah. I don't think some like young 19-year-old is like, oh, the West Wing is going to tell me to vote? Hell yeah, now I'm in. Like, they don't know what West Wing exists.
The special is going to have a lot of returning cast members. Obviously, the whole cast is returning, but they have Sterling K. Brown is going to be there. Bill Clinton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and
favorite actor, Bill Clinton,
and Elizabeth Moss. And I was like, oh, that's cool that Elizabeth Moss is doing that. Apparently, she is in fact in the show. She is the president's daughter.
This is true. And Samuel Jackson's also going to be in it.
Little girl.
When I saw Elizabeth Moss, and I'm seeing a lot of characters, I'm like, I know you a lot older.
Yeah.
It's funny because I know you're a fan of Sorkin's other works, so I'm surprised you hadn't gotten to West Wing up to this point. But I'm glad. I do think you'll like it overall. It's from my experience, which again, not the whole series, but a decent chunk. It's quite a journey. I want to go back and go through it all again.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Martin Sheen is a primary character in the Mass Effect franchise. He's dope as hell.
That's cool.
It is. Cool.
Yeah, I as you mentioned, I'm a fan of Aaron Sorkin's other work. I love The Newsroom, which aired on HBO for 3 seasons. I thought that show was awesome.
We read the news.
And then
we reported the news.
We reported the news. Dang it, I missed it.
I knew the joke you were going for.
Thank you.
It's really insane to me that so it's really insane to me how much Martin Sheen looks like both of his kids.
Yeah.
It's nuts. As Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen is crazy how close they look together.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got.
I didn't do a whole lot, so I'll go next.
It's going to be the week of not a whole lot, but somehow it's still going to be an hour.
That's how hour-long chunks for things.
I got 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go through.
All right, go slow.
All right. I think the biggest thing that there's a timer right. Oh, in the corner. Never mind. The biggest thing that I did this week actually happened yesterday. I was on my friend Micah's podcast, the Mouse Nerd podcast. We recorded an episode about our Disney stories. As we all know, coronavirus. It's not up yet. It's gonna go up either tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday. But once it is up, he'll let me know. You can listen to the first 2 episodes of said podcast on Spotify. Apple's kind of dragging their feet a little bit, and there's also on his YouTube channel, the Peter Pan Boy channel on YouTube. So that's
let me know when it's up and I'll promote it.
Yeah. So pretty much it's funny because when we first started, he was like, yeah, this is going to be like an hour, 15 hour, 30. He was like, yeah, that's no problem. It turned into 3 hours of us of him, his girlfriend, and myself just rambling on about our favorite memories of Disneyland.
Long-time listeners of the show will know we can talk a lot.
Talking for 3 hours about stuff you like. Who does that? Crazy.
No, because he was like, and there's probably going to be a part 2 to that too, because we didn't even crack the surface, but it was a fun. I had a blast. It was great. Also, I haven't seen him in a while, or his girlfriend. It was a good time. I was really happy to do that.
I went to Disneyland because of that nice gentleman, right?
Yeah, you did.
The same Mike. Yeah, sweet.
Yep. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, he's a great guy. I miss him. Besides that, video game wise, I didn't play a whole lot of Super Mario 64. I'm at 90 stars now, so I'm getting close. There was a game I did play a little bit more this week, but I started playing last week, but I forgot to mention it, and that's Super Mario Bros. 35. That's the Battle Royale game where you have 35 players and everyone's playing Super Mario Bros., the original, and last one standing is the winner. That game is nice. It's fun. I enjoy it.
It's no Tetris 99.
No Tetris 99, and I can definitely see why people are getting really, really sick of World 1-1. Because because in Tetris 99, the way you beat your enemies, if you clear 2 lines or more at once, you send garbage lines to other players. Like it could be random, those attacking, those who are the most in danger of getting knocked out, those who have the most knockouts, whatever. Whereas in Mario, when you step on a Goomba or hit a Koopa shell or whatever, that enemy goes to another player. But if you have like the superstar, you could just like roll through dudes pretty quick and easily. And also there's a timer because every enemy you beat, you get more time added to your timer. Because if you run out, you're done for.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like it, but there are times where I get to the secret warp zone in World. It is hard to get number 1 in Tetris 99. The highest I've ever gotten is 3rd place. But in Mario, I haven't got number 1 in Mario yet. Highest I've gotten is 5th place, I think. I mean, I haven't really devoted time to it because unlike Tetris, where I love playing Tetris, I'm still starting off in World 1-1 of Super Mario Bros. As much as I love that game, I'm like, I know where everything is. I know where the secret mushroom is. I know where the superstar is. I know how to get everywhere. Because there are times where you get to the warp zone, you can go back to World 1-1 and just help yourself with the power-ups. But then you have like an army of Goombas and Koopa Troopas coming at you. And sometimes Bowser.
Yeah, I saw like 3 Bowsers in one video. Like, that just seems too much. But if you have the Fire Flower, you can just knock them all out. No big deal.
Oh, yeah, totally. The Fire Flower and the Invincibility Star are pretty broken.
May I interrupt?
Yeah.
May I interrupt real quick? I forgot to mention something that I feel like we should mention up top before people stop listening. We are going to put up the Michael Morisi interview on the audio feed this week.
Yeah.
Just for people who are listening to the audio of this and not watching the video, because if you're watching the video, you can just go to our channel. But if you're listening to the audio of this and you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, A, what's wrong with you? And B, you can definitely check it out on the audio going forward.
To be fair, the audio people were there first, so we should treat them with respect.
That is true. And I think I am also going to make a separate audio feed for the Fichtner Book Club No changes. It'll be the same book. It'll be the same thing, just also audio.
We just do it on video. Like it's still just an audio thing. Like there's no real video incorporations.
Yeah,
it's not like we frequently show visual panels every once in a blue moon.
Yeah, right. But if you prefer audio podcasts, stay tuned for a feed for the Fake Nerd Book Club. So, woo. That's sorry, Ben. That's all I wanted to say to our audience.
No, you're good. Yeah, we do. We should have said that in the beginning. But it's let's see, how much time do I got? 5 minutes to spare. Cool. I only need 3.
You hear that, Fanny?
Oh, you are on fire today.
I'm punchy. It's been midterms week.
Damn. So besides
put those guns down, sir.
So besides doing the Mouse Nerd podcast and playing some Mario, really I got through some of my comic books. I still have my X of Swords to get through. What?
Ben, what's more important, like life or X-Men? Come on, bro.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read any of my new comics.
I'm just giving you crap.
I work, dude.
I'm kidding. I'm giving you crap.
I know you're giving me shit.
I read 2 of them.
Nice. Yeah. So besides so I got through some of my books. I got X of Swords waiting. I'm looking forward to it. And nothing really much. I listened to the debate. That was fun. I listened to the Dodgers beat the Padres. That was really fun. And
was it fun?
Wait, what was fun? Listen to the Dodgers beat the Padres?
Fun.
The debate.
Oh, the debate? I don't want to get into it.
My mom called me up and asked me, like, did you watch the debate? I go, no. They're like, why? Well, first of all, I'm at a thing. I'm at the thing that I can't talk about. Yeah. But second off, I have better things to do. And she's like, what better things could you do than watching the debate? Well, when your low bar is ripping out my eyeballs, I can find something better to do.
Yeah, but that's
I was just glad I was able to listen to it through my phone while I was at work. So that was an experience. But on a lighter note, the Dodgers move on to the next round of the playoffs. So woohoo, go Dodgers!
Also, Lakers. Good job, Lakers.
Lakers won tonight.
Wait, I thought you liked the Dodgers.
I do.
They're very different sports.
Wait,
I'm talking about basketball. He's talking about baseball.
No. Wait, who? Wait, I think I messed up this joke.
You did. You totally did.
Who's the team that won? Not the Lakers. Who's the team that won your sport?
It says it right there, Brandon.
Who beat the Okay, Dodgers beat the Padres? Okay, I meant the Giants then. Probably. I don't care anymore.
So close, Brandon.
Hold on. This is audio, right? We're not doing this live. We can just re-record that and it'll be much funnier and I'll just splice it in after.
Clap and then we'll just edit it. Cool.
Yep.
Not doing that.
Oh, yeah, that's my week. Nothing much.
You go now.
We're just
gonna go circle this week.
Okay.
I love it.
And hey, it took me less than 10 minutes to get through that. Woohoo!
Ryan, how is that a circle?
The circle's going this way.
On my screen,
but
it's
I went first.
Then Ben.
It goes woo.
Oh no, he's right. You're having it go to me, and it will go from Ben down to you.
Listen, I will go now, so the circle's complete now. Yeah.
Let's do it really awkwardly, like there isn't enough space in this living room.
No.
Yeah, I did not have a lot of time for a lot of things that weren't school related. A couple of things I'm going to mention were because it's been midterms and I had a lot to do because I let one class really slip behind me.
Oh no.
So I'll just knock a few of these out. For class, I watched Dracula with Bela Lugosi.
Ooh, nice.
From 1931.
That is a good movie.
That's a good movie. I can see where that movie suffers from a practically absentee director, however. I will say that now knowing some of the things I know about it. Todd Browning was not around a lot for actually directing the film.
Oh.
Yeah.
A regular Bryan Singer.
Yeah. But it's still a classic. And then I watched for the first time ever Blackula.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is blaxploitation. And it's very corny in that way. It's interesting. There's an amount of vindication about Blackula in the film, because it starts off with Dracula meeting this guy who's an emissary from Africa, and basically saying in his time period, in like the late 1700s, he's just telling this guy straight up at his castle, yeah, man, I'm gonna continue the slave trade because I want to. And he's all like, yo, we're not having this conversation. Dracula's like, actually, I'm gonna make you a vampire and put you in a coffin and curse you to just be here hungry for blood for the rest of existence, because you couldn't support me being on board with the slave trade. And then it flashes forward to the 70s, and a gay couple, which are horrendously represented, but a gay couple opens up the coffin and lets Blackula free. And I really wanted the movie to be about Blackula getting revenge on Dracula, but that's not the movie. Dracula is apparently already dead. So what it is that Blackula finds a woman conveniently, almost moments, literally, after he awakens from the coffin, that looks like the reincarnation of his deceased wife. And so he is trying to reconnect and woo her while also like turning a whole bunch of people into vampires. And it's got some weird schlocky things. Like there's a whole thing where Blackula hunts down a girl because she took a photo of him, and he's like, oh no, she's gonna know I'm a vampire, but she has to like have the negatives processed and everything. Okay. And it's like, Blackula, how do you know that a camera would do that? Nobody's told you about cameras yet. So what are you doing?
You're talking about Dracula. That's a comic that came out.
Yes. Wow.
I just showed him a picture of Apocalypse versus Dracula, a 2006 event. Marvel comics are amazing.
But anyway, like Blackula ends up being kind of moving in its ending, which really surprised me. And I'm like, there's a really solid idea for a movie here about a black vampire that's cursed by Dracula related to the slave trade, and then wakes up, millennia later.
That's a dude for like a dope A24 remake or something.
It really is. Yeah, I'm like, there's a cool
like
part
a Jordan
of something
Peele
here that's trying to be really black representative that Blackula just doesn't get to.
I love it.
But that was an experience.
Well, wow, Jeff Loeb wrote this.
She's just
Are we just showing our vampire comics now?
I guess.
That's not Dracula.
Dracula's in this.
Okay.
I think I haven't read it.
I did was I did sometimes watch some Impractical Jokers, just some nice downtime. Most of what I did during downtime that I really had was I watched all but the single last episode of Close Enough on HBO Max. Megan and I made the time and watched it. I really like it. It's a really great spiritual successor to regular show, which I'm not surprised about. I had no reason to suspect I wasn't going to enjoy it, but it's solid. It's a great show.
It's awesome.
I'm glad that it's around.
I love it.
Megan and I also finished Until Dawn today.
Woo!
And with the exception of a really stupid controller mistake and just bad judgment on my part, we almost saved all the characters but one that we wanted to, which is pretty cool. That was a solid experience. I enjoyed playing through that story.
It's been many years since I played that game, but just looking at it again makes me excited to try the Man of Medan thing.
Me too.
Because it's that experience, but just like instead of a full game, it's just like separate anthology episodes.
Yeah.
So they can really hone in on something really cool.
Right.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that whole concept. I think they really nailed that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I watched another episode of God of High School with the anime group. We all got kind of mad about it because we've all been kind of like getting turned off from the show and kind of being like, yeah, whatever. And all of a sudden it had a really great episode.
Yeah.
Like a super great episode. And we're all like, but I just don't believe this is going to be the standard. I believe this is unique and a one-off of quality. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping we're wrong, but probably not.
I just found out.
Really good.
I found out that the show is only 13 episodes.
Yeah, anime seasons are short now, which is a blessing. let's see. And the rest on this list I did with you. We
the flip flop
did Lovecraft Country, which is obviously up on the feed.
We're
right now at this moment.
Caught up.
Link in the description for both our new episodes of Lovecraft Country and our new book club episode. So
yeah.
We also finished The Boys.
The Boys.
That's we're about to watch.
Guys, that show is so.
Huh? You have not, Brandon?
I have not yet.
Yeah.
Either.
Is exceptional. Obviously, you guys were watching it, so you know it's good. It's like the quality doesn't end up.
That finale is something.
There is, if you guys watched the New York Comic-Con panel of The Boys, Carl Urban talks about, somebody asked him like, oh, what was like the hardest scene in the film in The Boys? And he's like, there's a specific scene in the finale that obviously I won't spoil, but it's the most emotional I've ever been on any set. And there's one specific look that Billy gives that's like, I know exactly the moment he's talking about, where his like anger goes from like sadness to rage. And I'm like, and he's like crying, and I'm like, dude, this is like chilling. Like how good Carl Urban is. I'm like, and Homelander's good. I'm like, man, this show's gonna win so many awards. But then Lovecraft Country is, oh no.
Because I'm only 2 episodes behind because of the thing that I've been dealing with. But hopefully Zara's out of town actually for the month, so we'll hopefully be able to finish it over Discord or something like that. So we can do our Fake Nerd watch of it soon. So
yeah.
We'll
obviously talk more about The Boys in the near future. We did finish it solid.
If you aren't watching The Boys, like, you're one of the only people not watching it, because it's literally like the most popular show on the planet, which is still unbelievable to me that this is the show that has won the hearts and minds of America.
I think a lot of people come to it with like, either we already like soup stuff,
yes, or
we don't like soup stuff, and we see this show as criticizing soup stuff, and then they stay for the commentary on
America,
capitalism.
It
turned into.
It hits so many different marks. And every episode's just so good. Like, what a blessing.
Yeah.
And then, Ryan, you and I also started another show. We started The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh, we did. We watched one jolly good episode.
And we picked up on that Greg Sestero, Mark from The Room, is in this show.
Yep.
Briefly, but he's in it. And we were both like, man, that guy seems a lot like Greg Sestero. And I had to look it up, and I'm like, oh my God, that is Greg Sestero.
Yeah, I was giving him a side eye. He's not in. He's only in for like 5 minutes, but I was giving him a side eye. I'm like, that's straight up Mark. Hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. And I was like, is that Greg? And then he looked it up. I'm like, dude, good for that guy. That guy's in a big Hollywood budget Netflix show. Good for him.
The first episode is really atmospheric and just kind of establishing everything, but it's very effective.
Yeah.
The kids on the show are very good.
They're very spooky.
They're both kids from the first season. So
definitely
the girl, yes.
Definitely the girl.
The boy, I'm pretty sure too.
He might have been a ghost or something.
But they're both very solid, and they're solid here as well.
Yeah.
Really, really solid so far. We're 1 episode in, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
nice.
And that's really all I had time for. I didn't have time to read any comics besides our book club this week, or watch a lot of other things besides what we're going to talk about later. It's been a hectic time.
Yeah, you're a schoolboy. You said see you later, boy.
Yeah.
My time. I picked up a lot of comics. I didn't read all of them, but these are the ones I did read. Getting It Together is a new Cena Grace independent comic. Cena Grace wrote the Iceman comic for Marvel. He is an openly gay writer, and Marvel was cool enough to have a gay writer write Iceman after Bendis outed him in a really gross way. But the character is out now, so they got Cena to write it. But they also canceled it after 1 year. So he hates Marvel, and he left the company in kind of bad terms. But this independent comic is very much it's just a nice Friends drama. There's an homage to Friends in the very back, but it's about people dealing with breakups and living in the city in San Francisco, and it's straight up it feels like a CW drama, but like a really, really good one. And all the characters are really well written, and the art's beautiful. And it's I think the only comic I'm reading right now that is just about normal people. Because even the book I'm going to talk about next, Lonely Receiver, very much deals with the same stuff. Like, these are 2 books that are like two sides of the same coin. Like they deal with similar topics, but this is just like, yo, man, people deal with breakups. That sucks.
I also happened to read an article about a month ago of people talking about this comic coming out.
Yeah.
So I also picked up this issue 1. I haven't had the time to read it, but I do have it.
I appreciate
So
you.
I'm glad to hear
Cool.
that it's good.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, it's really cool because like obviously comics can be anything they want, but like we all gravitate towards like big bombastic shit. So sometimes it's nice to have a comic where just people talk to each other. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm into it. So going into the next book, Lonely Receiver, which I do like a whole lot more just because it's doing weird genre sci-fi stuff while also dealing with like intense grief of like what you do after like you lose the person who was your other half. And in the case of this book, it is, if you guys seen the movie Her, it is an AI intelligence that is made for you. And the way that the character talks about like having their partner, who's this AI, leave her, it's like, I own her. Like she can't do this to me. And like, she has all of the information. What is she going to do to me? And like all the different layers of like sadness and grief you go through. But also with weird robot sci-fi shit. And it's like really, it's just super mature. And it's a type of thing that like an HBO show would do that I don't see comics really dive deep into. And I really appreciate it. And also the art's really great. That book's great. Let's see. I read 3 X-Men books, X of Swords. Those books are good. These tie-ins were more in line with where I thought the tie-ins were going to be. They're not this isn't a spoiler. They're not as big and bombastic. Like the Wolverine ones are about Wolverine. So like they're still really dope. Hella dope.
Like I want to show you the my copy of X of Swords #1 Creation.
Yeah.
I got the wraparound cover.
Oh, Mark Brooks. Oh my God, so good.
I got that one too.
That dude's insane.
Because when we went to the store, they had the regular one, but I was like, nah, they had the wraparound. I was like, I need that wraparound.
You get it if you can, yeah. I actually didn't read that much more. There's 3. DC's Dead Planet.
Wait.
Yeah.
I Need That Wraparound is the sequel to Plugs and Gags.
If only it was a reach around cover. God. What did I just read? DC's Dead Planet. That are you still picking that up, Brandon, or no? Not yet, not anymore.
I'm trade waiting.
No, that's fine. That's cool. Just that book's still really dope. And like the character development of the new Justice League with like John being Superman and Damian being Batman is so good. And I want that book so bad. I want that book so bad, you guys. And I know we're never gonna get it. But Tom Taylor continues to just be like one of the best writers they have, and he's just writing side shit. And I'm just like, oh, just give him the Justice League. Just do it. That I bought like twice as many comics as that, but I didn't read any of the other ones because a lot of them are like issues 2 or 3 of comics I haven't read previously. So that's all the comics I read. I mostly, as in yesterday, played like 8 hours of Control. So I beat Control, and I also beat the first DLC. And I beat it at 5 a.m. today. And I would have started the second DLC, but it wasn't installed. So thank God for that, because I would have stayed up until the crack of dawn.
You also did.
No. I played until dawn.
Oh,
you did.
Sorry, I would have. Yes,
I was on the phone until dawn.
You also did the downright annoyed, which is in the link in the description.
Yes, we did a downright annoyed about Speed Cubers, which is a doc series or doc movie about a professional Rubik's cubing, and it's actually it's only 40 minutes. It's a really sweet story about
training.
Do you know the world record for Rubik's Cube is, Brandon?
That's how I do Rubik's Cubes. I stare blankly at somewhere that isn't the cube and just go like,
You guys know
I watched the same documentary.
Okay. So
I don't. What's the world record?
No, take a guess. Like, how fast do you think someone can solve a Rubik's Cube?
I think someone did it in about 5 seconds or less.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 seconds.
Fudge.
How someone's brain can do that, and it's not a trick. There are like hundreds of kids who go to these competitions, and like they range like 3 to 10 seconds, and it's truly insane. It's truly insane what the human mind is capable of remembering and learning. And it's all just math, but like I'm dumb, so I don't do that. But I just want to talk about Control real quick because, guys, I think legitimately that is definitely top 10 games of all time for me. Maybe top 5, because it is the atmosphere and the locations that you go to have just never been done in a video game. I've only ever seen them in comic books or crazy sci-fi movies. Some of the stuff in that game is so wild. There's one specific thing I want to talk about, and no matter how cool it is that I describe it, it would never actually properly like be what it is. I'm not revealing anything because it is too cool. I can never reveal how cool it really is. There's this place inside the oldest tower, which is this tower that's existed since the dawn of time. It's connected to old Lovecraftian gods who have mankind's best interest at heart for some reason. It's never really explored. And one of the best things about the game is when you beat the game, it's not a spoiler. He's like, some things we don't know all the answers to. And I'm like, yo, that's right. I watched Twin Peaks. Like, you guys get it. Because there's a lot of shit that just doesn't get explored. And I love it for it. But the oldest house has this place called the Ashtray Hotel, and it's a maze. It's actually called the Ashtray Maze, and you don't learn a maze until you're lost in it. So it's a maze that you walk through, and much like in Doctor Strange, you know how the world like warps, like geography, stuff like that. The walls around you are doing this as well. So you are getting lost in this maze that is rewriting itself as you walk through it. And now I understand why people can't play this game on your PS4, because I can only imagine the processing power that this is doing to my computer, because I had to turn my settings down because so much shit is happening on the screen, guys. It is so cool. It is so cool. I can't even tell you. So you can't get through this maze. So you have to go find the janitor, who is the otherworldly guy who is the caretaker, but he's a Swedish man who doesn't speak English. But you go to him because he apparently has the answers. And he gives you his cassette tape player. And he's like, my friends told me to give this to you. And you don't know what that means. So you put the headset on, and then Norwegian heavy metal starts playing as you start walking through the maze, and it actually starts guiding you. So now you're in a guided thing through this maze, and the maze is seriously like you're running forward, and like the maze is like going forward with you, so you're never actually progressing. And then the walls shift sideways and shift upwards, and doors open and sideways, and it is like the most Doctor Strange shit I've ever seen in a video game. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in a video game, I think. Like, my mind was blown. I was like 3 a.m. playing this, and I'm like, no game has ever done this before, and it's so cool. And I just can't wait for you guys to eventually play it. And I have one more piece of DLC to play, and it's luckily the Alan Wake shit. And that's so exciting. And I'm gonna probably play that until the wee hours of the morning, and I work tomorrow, but I don't give a shit because I am so invested in this world. I don't know if there's any comic books or anything, but like I love this world so much. Like I hope I can grow up and be a big boy and write comics and write the Control comic, because like I am so in love with the world and the characters and the environment, and it's the most like imaginative sci-fi thing I've maybe ever seen. And it's all boring bureaucracy, and that's what makes it so cool. And like, oh, I love it. I love Control, and that was my week. We got 13 minutes left. I love it.
Real quickly, I played more Star Wars Squadrons. I've almost finished it. It's a short game.
Yeah.
That game's a lot of fun. That game's a lot of fun.
How's the story?
It's all right.
Okay.
The game more than makes up for it in gameplay, so I don't mind that the story is very thin. And again, much because it's VR and you do a lot of like the point and click type of thing, you get a lot of story if you talk to the characters, but you're ended up talking to them for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's just that one person's like blah 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 blah. I remember blah 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 blah. But it does have the first non-binary character in Star Wars, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Played by Bex Taylor Klaus, who's frequented many shows we have watched. Arrow, Voltron. So that was cool that they got to do that.
I love it.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Should we do our B&B?
One more thing before. I also wanted to mention, I forgot to mention earlier, but I got my new hat from Neon Retro Arcade. They have an online store.
I've been there.
Yep, they're hurting because of the pandemic. So guys, support your local businesses, all that jazz. Absolutely love this hat. Glad I got it. That's about it.
I got my Directed by Ryan Johnson shirt.
That's cool.
Hey Ben, you know what's the best thing that you can do to support your local businesses? Vote.
Oh yeah.
You need to vote. You need to go vote.
V for vote.
There's no excuse. Go
V
vote.
for vote.
All right.
Vote.
Mail in your ballot. I don't care. Vote.
Even if it's not a mail-in ballot, mail it anyway.
Just give it a shot.
All right, let's move on. We got some sad news to get through before the happy stuff.
Yeah, that's
we lost 2 legendary musicians this week. Johnny Nash passed away at 80, and Eddie Van Halen died of cancer at the age of 65.
Yep.
It's a punch, man.
Yeah, that was a blow.
Yeah, the Eddie Van Halen one, that hurt me the most because, as you guys know, but if you didn't, Van Halen was the first concert I ever went to. 13 years old, August 2004, at the Staples Center. I begged my dad to take me because I was starting to get into Van Halen then, and we saw the show, and it was truly an amazing show. I will always remember there was a curtain on the stage. It was just a black stage, not a lot of stuff on it. And when the opening keys to Jump started playing, the curtain dropped to reveal this big giant monitor. Out comes Sammy Hagar. Out comes Anthony with his Jack Daniels bass guitar. Out comes Eddie, Alex, the entire band, and it was an amazing show. And just to hear that he passed away on Tuesday, I mean, it hurt because Van Halen is one of the earliest bands I started listening to when besides the Beatles, that was like, this band is really good. And even after Eddie Van Halen was one of my musical, he was a god. I wanted to play the guitar like him. And Christmas, when I listened to the Van Halen 1 for the first time, I asked my parents for a guitar and they got me one. I didn't really learn how to play it, but my brother did. And he's a really good guitar player. And of course, Van Halen is one of his very first influences. So
yeah,
it was sad. I remember I was driving home from work on that Tuesday, just blasting and singing along to Dreams, and I almost started crying a little bit.
Johnny Nash was famous for I Can See Clearly Now, correct?
Yes.
Another that's upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was really sad when Eddie Van Halen passed away. It was also really sad to watch Johnny Nash kind of get forgotten in the mix throughout the week because of it. That was sad too. That's nobody's fault. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we get to talk about both of them. Van Halen's dope. It sucks to lose Eddie. I'm glad he lived as long as he did. But that's still a kick in the pants. And in a twisted way, I'm kind of glad that it wasn't the coronavirus that got him.
Yeah. While we're talking about musicians, I wasn't sure if I read this week or not, but the original. Never mind. This was a long time ago. I'm not going to repeat it. Never mind. This was like I saw this news, but it got retweeted just like recently. So I just found out about it. But the original lead singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers passed away months ago. But that's that's old news. Sorry.
Okay. Shall we get into the rest of the news then?
Other stuff.
News.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of new release dates were revealed this week because of the coronavirus. Because theaters are still closed. Studios still want to try and get their movies into theaters whenever they can. So movies. So I'll just go down the list. The Batman was pushed from its October 1st, 2021 release date to March 4th, 2022.
Wow.
The Flash was moved from its June 2nd, 2022 release date to November 4th, 2022. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was pushed from November 4th, 2022 to June 2nd, 2023.
Oh, wow.
The year 2023 sounds like a really far away, but it's only like 3 years.
It is. It's just this year is almost over.
A whole lot can change in 3 years.
Yeah.
Of course, I really hate when someone said 1990 is just as far away as 2050, and I hate that.
Yep.
It's awesome. Doesn't it feel great?
No. Black Adam was pushed from December 22nd, 2021 to sometime. They have not told us when.
Question mark.
After that huge panel.
Yep. Matrix 4 was actually moved up from its April 1st, 2022 release date to December 22nd, 2021.
Yeah, that movie's in post-production.
Yeah.
And Minecraft was moved from March 3rd, 2022 to an indeterminate date.
There's a Minecraft movie coming out?
I forgot that they were making that.
Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia was supposed to direct that, but that was announced like years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Years ago.
That's okay. So was Black Adam.
But we have information about that. We have no Minecraft information.
Jurassic World Dominion was pushed a whole year from June 11th, 2021 to June 10th, 2022.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're having COVID cases spike again.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs getting COVID, it's the worst.
Dune. We knew it. We knew they were going to give me more time to read that book.
Way more time than I thought, though.
Yeah. December 18th, 2020 was its original release date, and now it has moved to October 1st, 2021. That's a big jump.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah, that's too much. That's what are you gonna do?
I mean, it gives me plenty of time. Now I'm going to be starting to move soon.
You literally have 14 months.
I do.
Like, you can read all 3.
You underestimate my power.
Yeah, my procrastination.
All right. Monster Hunter was actually moved up from April 23rd, 2021 to December 30th, 2020. Excited for that?
Yeah. That's going to VOD.
Yeah.
It looks like it is. It looks like it should be.
I bet it'll get limited theater release here.
Yeah.
And then wide theater release and then VOD not long after.
Yeah.
But it'll start just in theaters, I bet.
By the way, pre-orders are up for New Mutants. All right.
When's
they have
a pre-order for when I can pirate it?
I wish I knew I wanted to watch that movie because they have a kick-ass steelbook, which is made out of the poster, the white poster with them coming through the wall. I'm like, that's pretty sick. And then the inside is like all their heads, but the skull designs.
Don't listen, FBI, but I will definitely pirate that movie. Let's be honest.
Soul, probably the biggest move outside of Dune.
Yep,
is that Soul will be skipping theaters altogether and will debut on Disney Plus on December 25th at no extra cost
for free. That's suspect. That's weird.
I don't like that they're doing it for free. I'm not gonna lie.
It's weird. It's like that seems like a movie that.
Because here's the thing, that's a really nice look. Like Pete Docter and people at Pixar made a really nice statement where they're like, everybody needs this. It's a Christmas gift, that kind of thing. I'm like, that's really nice. You know who is paying for Soul? All the people that just got laid off at the Disney parks. That's who's paying for Soul. That's why they're giving it to you for free. I mean, I'm not saying like those things are one-to-one, but it's choices like that that are the reason why the company's doing things like that.
I think also it has a lot to do with the Mulan experiment didn't work.
That's certainly true. And I can see releasing Soul for less, but not nothing.
But yeah, like
I would still drop it for at minimum 10.
Yeah.
Like dropping it for nothing doesn't make a lot of sense. That movie was made to earn money for the company, and they're releasing it in a way where it's not going to, other than their hope that it's going to get any more subscribers than they already have, which has to be a bunch. And I don't like it because I know that means cuts somewhere else in the company to make up for it.
Pixar
I just know it does, regardless of if it's the Disney parks ones, which I again like not one for one, but we're going to see more examples like that. Especially if like theaters don't open up again. So making a choice like that, I'd rather they charge $10 or $15 rather than like taking it out on other people who already work in the companies.
Ryan, what were you gonna say?
Pixar movies aren't cheap. Like this, it is kind
they
of.
Also
shocking.
make a ton.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I'm even if Mulan didn't work, that doesn't mean I still figured they would charge us money anyway. Like.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
Pixar's like Mulan. Even if it didn't work, like how much did it make? Like 30 million. That's no small amount of money. That's a decent amount of money. Like you need to make your money back somehow, and you're not going to get it back through subscriptions. Like Soul will sell some subscriptions, sure, but it's not going to make you that money.
No.
Well, no matter what, I think what Mulan showed a lot of people what we've already been talking about is that the VOD market cannot make the kind of profit that a theater market can. Mulan didn't make a profit, didn't make an extra profit. It $30 million is not even close. For sure. So I think obviously not the only reason, but you know, they looked at the fact that Mulan, not a lot of people bought Mulan. It didn't make a whole lot of money, so they were just like, let's just put Soul on for free. So I do think that's probably part of it. But yeah, this like Spark says, it means there's cuts somewhere else.
I mean, it's
going to lose a ton of money. Pixar movies make $1 billion sometimes.
Yes, and this one looks like one of their big hitters.
Yeah,
like Inside Out, because it's from the same person. It is frustrating only in the sense that I would hate to be that person who's told we have to lay you off because we're not making enough in earnings, while knowing they dropped a movie worth $1 billion for free to everybody and cut you out as part of the collateral for it. And I just don't think that was necessary. I understand dropping it on Disney Plus at a lower price tag than what Mulan dropped at, but dropping it at nothing is just, it seems wasteful. Seems like they're not taking advantage of what they have. I'm like, drop it for $5, drop it for $10, drop it for anything. You want to be nice around Christmas time, I get it, do it, but don't just take the L on it.
Soul cost $150 million.
Yeah.
So like, That, I mean, again, like, it's really shitty that they're like, hey, we're going to give you all of this for free, but then like internally they're like, how are we going to make this back? Like, that's real shitty. How are we going to cut costs to make that work? I'm like, I get it.
Okay, let's move on. Because movies were not the only things that got pushed back. The Eternals comic book from Kieran Gillen and Asad Rebic has been pushed to January.
Not that long. 2 months.
No longer coming out in November.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's in the news or not, but Ryan Otley was on Twitter talking about how artists who work 12 to 14 comics a year, who draw 12 to 14 comics a year, are killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I had a thought. What did you just said it, Brendan? I'm sorry. What's the topic we're talking about?
Eternals.
Yeah. Todd Ribbick is such an insane artist. He needs more time to work on that book. And so give him as much time to delay, because like I want that dude on that book for as long as he can. Unfortunately, he takes a long time. He's an artiste.
Yeah. So it's great though.
Yeah.
And the only other bit of comic book news we'll talk about is Transformers Beast Wars is getting a 25th anniversary comic book. Been 25 years since that show came out, so it's getting a new comic book from IDW in February of 2021. This says the Transformers Beast Wars comic series will welcome fans to a future I lost it. It's gone forever. Future Cybertron, populated by scientific-minded Maximals and action-oriented Predacons. When the successor to the Megatron name steals a golden disc and a ship capable of time travel, traveling through time, only Optimus Primal and a team of Maximals, Rat Trap, Rhinox, Cheetor, and a new character Nyx can stop them.
Cool.
In years. God, that takes me back.
That show used to be on Netflix, and I watched an episode of that. I was like, man, this aged badly.
Yeah.
I remember watching Beast Wars on Fox Kids because it aired right before Digimon. And I had a lot of the toys, and my parents were mad that I wanted Beast Wars toys because I could never fully transform them until I got older.
Okay, but Beast Wars, let's talk about it real quick. Beast Wars is legit awesome. And here, like the show is set in the past of Earth, but the future of Cybertron. They meet the dormant Cybertronians of Optimus Prime, Bumblebee on Earth. They're not even revealed that it is Earth until their second moon gets destroyed, and all of a sudden you're like, oh dang, you on Earth? That show's
Welcome
cool.
to Earth. If only it looked good.
Yeah, the animation does that show no justice.
We're getting Beast Wars shit in season 3 of that bad show. So,
yay! All right, it made me sad.
Sorry.
I'll buy the DVD of Beast Wars.
There you go.
Okay, HBO Max had a lot of news this week that was not related to New York Comic Con, but they kind of was like, hey, cool things are happening. So here's our new cartoon series, Bat Wheels. A new Cartoon Network HBO Max series based on the Batmobile.
I thought this was a joke when it was first announced.
Me too.
In Teen Titans Go to the Movies, where they make a movie about the car before they make a movie about Robin.
It is a preschool age show, so we're not the audience.
Yeah,
that makes
sense. We're not the audience, to be fair. But just to tell you what it's about, it will feature Batman's trusty Batmobile, Bam.
That's cute.
And other vehicles like Jet the Batwing and Buff the Bat-Truck as young, sentient characters on the streets of Gotham. Those vehicles will be joined by others like BB, the Batgirl Cycle, and Red, the Redbird. Together, under the leadership of Bam, this superhero team of cars is known as the Batwheels.
Where's Pow the Bat Plow?
Where's Benny the Batboat?
Yeah.
Wait, I want to read one more.
We saw one in Batman Forever.
I want to read one more quote about the show. The sentient vehicles will find themselves newly created by the Bat computer, and the series will show the team navigate the growing pains of being a newly formed super team, as well as the growing pains that come with just being a kid.
What is the show? What are you? No, I get it. Okay, but I'm just like, what is Batman also in the show?
No.
Is this like Cars? Is this Cars? The Cars universe?
It sounds
like it. Yes.
I love it. I'm just trying to figure out like what does the show look like? There's like,
what
the gas commercial, like the cars have the eyes, like where the headlights are.
Max is cute.
That's cute, man. If they want to use cars to teach kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but what were they smoking?
Again, we're not the audience.
No,
we're not. It's a preschool show, so okay, I get it.
I can't wait to see Mr. Freeze, the ice cream truck.
That's 100% a thing. Guaranteed.
Oh god, Joker's gonna be a clown car.
Oh yeah,
of course.
Who's Penguin gonna be? Is Penguin gonna be like a stretched black and white?
No, it's Zamboni.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, those Hot Wheel cars that are designed to look like characters from comic books. That.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. I'm trying to think, and Poison Ivy could be like a Tesla.
Oh.
Electric vehicle.
No, it goes.
It's gonna be a monster truck.
Bane's gonna be a Hummer.
Yeah, he's gotta be a huge car. No, Poison Ivy runs on vegetable oil.
God, what rabbit hole are we?
You need to get in that writer's room, Ben, right now.
Why?
Because you're coming up with gold, sir.
Apparently, I came digging for copper, but I found gold.
All right.
Prospector.
Probably the biggest news to come out of HBO Max was the other DC show that they talked about. We knew that Green Lantern was going to come to HBO Max as a TV series. Now we have more information on that. It's going to be a 10-episode series from Seth Grahame-Smith, who will be the showrunner and co-write the series with friend of the show, Mark Guggenheim.
Goobs.
The Goobs.
Real quickly, I want to talk about Seth Grahame-Smith. You will know him as the writer of the screenplay for Lego Batman the movie and the novel and movie for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Mm-hmm. He was also going to have his directorial debut on the Flash movie before he left that.
He sure was. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That dude's a really funny writer, I will say. He's definitely got good writing chops.
I do remember highly enjoying the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah. I also really like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
So do I, but I really need to watch that movie again. It's been years. And I saw it on a plane, and it was loud.
Do you have any more information about this?
Yes. An image was released to coincide with the characters of that show that are going to be in the show. So real quickly, here's the log line. From HBO Max, DC, Berlanti Productions, and Warner Brothers Television comes a bold adaptation of the iconic comic book franchise, a saga spanning decades and galaxies. Green Lantern will depict the adventures of a multitude of lanterns, including Guy Gardner, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, and Alan Scott, Earth's first Green Lantern, who, true to the comics, is a gay man, and many more. The series will also include fan favorites such as Sinestro and Kilowog, and will also introduce new heroes to the ranks of the Green Lantern Corps.
Well, true to the New 52 one, but that's still cool.
That sounds good.
The Alan Scott being gay thing, I did want to mention Earth 2 Alan Scott is gay. Earth Justice Society Alan Scott is not, except that they've been implying that he is, even though he was also still married to Harlequin and has Obsidian, a gay superhero, and Jade, who has the same power as him.
That's like a New 52 development, right?
Yeah. But now old Alan Scott is being retconned to be gay.
That's what happened with Iceman as well. Yeah.
So this is I like this lineup of lanterns a lot. He's in his Alan as a favorite of mine. I love Alan Scott. His costume is his classic costume, so it leads me to believe that he'll be like an old guard Green Lantern. I hope that he doesn't have a lantern, the same lantern ring. I hope that they like keep true to his origins, which is that he has the star heart and can't work it against wood. Which is why Solomon Grundy is his villain. Yeah. But I love it.
The 10 episode thing, like of course it's like it's an HBO thing, so like, but like that makes me more excited. Not to bash on our good friend the Googs. Not all of his superhero output is always the top quality. Mm-hmm. Especially with the last time he tried Green Lantern. Of course, that's not all his fault. So that makes me kind of excited. Like he really does want to try again, much like a Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool. Like I like this character so much, I really want to get it right. So that kind of does give me some excitement.
It's more specifically, I like this universe so much because Hal Jordan's not in this.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and also, I'm glad Simon Baz is getting his due because he's
gone.
I feel like because after when New 52 was like getting, oh god, what's the word?
He was in the Justice League in the first run of Rebirth. First Rebirth Justice League, him and Jessica Cruz, but since then they've been gone. Jessica Cruz, however, was in Justice League Odyssey. Just want to point that out.
Jessica Cruz, I feel they're giving a lot more screen time, but Simon Baz, it kind of swept under the rug.
The comics, and this is this is partially Jeff John's fault, but
damn it,
the Congress didn't know what to do with Simon and Jessica, really.
Yeah.
I mean, because I like how Jessica was the Earth 3 Power Ring and then became a Green Lantern. I like that. But
so there's no mention, as we've talked about, there's no mention of Hal, John, or Kyle. I my theory, I think they want to save him for a potential movie.
I either imagine that they're, because those are kind of like the big hitters in a way. You know what I mean, like they're saving them for a movie or like a late like second season, late season kind of reveal thing.
Yeah. Because the Green Lantern world is so big, you think that they'd want the show to be supporting whatever film they do. But it would leave me. This isn't an issue. They can totally do this. They're HBO. This is prestige television, but you got to cast Sinestro thinking that way if that's what we're going to do.
If he shows up in a movie,
not a this is Doom Patrol. Not even Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol. I think I would give more credit to Titans level.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I just want to say real quickly, I think the show has potential to do Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz the kind of justice they've needed since their introduction.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I would just love a Green Lantern something. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Me too.
So I'm super stoked for this. This was I think the second most exciting news that happened to me this week.
So is this the show that's going to be called Green Lantern Corps that was teased at Comic-Con?
No, Green Lantern Corps is still the movie that they potentially want to do.
Yeah.
that's
nobody's heard about in forever. So.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It sounds like they're kind of just working on this.
And
first
if they were to want to do it,
I
feel like it would have to build off of this.
Yeah.
Hey, bring back Green Lantern the animated series. All right. Hello, K Titus.
Hey, Titus. How's it going, buddy?
Okay. Lumberjanes. Has anybody here read the Boom Studios Lumberjanes comic?
Only the first volume.
All right. Well, Lumberjanes is getting an HBO Max TV series, a movie and TV series from the writer of the comic book, Noelle Stevenson. She is going to write, direct, and executive produce the feature film, which will be followed by a television series. No word if it's live action or animated, but there was a live action movie in production until Disney bought Fox.
Yep.
This is I haven't read it, but I know this has a massive following online. When this got announced, the creator was very excited, but also so many of my friends online were stoked.
Yeah.
This is a very beloved comic.
It's a comic I definitely want to follow up on more. I thought it was really solid and well done. So I'm really stoked about this news myself.
Did it have like a crossover with a
Backstagers?
There you go.
And Gotham Academy. K Titus says, I put up a special video today, the story of Batman and Superman. Okay, yeah, promote your stuff on our channel. Thanks, dude. No, I'm kidding. Check out that video if you guys want to do that. I'll check it out later. So yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I also like Gotham Academy. That book was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Some Netflix news that happened this week, most notably that the TV series Glow was canceled after 3 seasons after being renewed for a 4th and final earlier this year.
That's when you started watching it.
It's even dumber than that. It's not just that. It's that the writers have already been paid for the whole season. The main cast has already been paid for the whole season. They're being told to just keep the money and they're not going to make the show. I don't get it.
Make the show.
Everyone has just been like, if it's just because of coronavirus, everybody would wait. It's not like you're a broadcast network where you have to be concerned about holding out for ratings.
Yeah.
Everybody already is waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's like, we'd wait 3 whatever years. It doesn't matter. We want the end of the show that we were promised and looking forward to. And all the scripts are done. Like, it's just sitting there waiting to be made. And they paid for most of it. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Netflix, you dumb.
That's real dumb.
That is dumb.
Really dumb. A lot of fans are pissed off. A lot of people have been pointing out, rightly so. I having watched Glow earlier this year, that show is fantastic. There are not a lot of female ensemble shows. They just really don't happen a lot, and this is a great one. And to have it kind of cut off at the knees in a really silly way, something that seems really cumbersome and unnecessary, sucks. People deserve that finale. I do think that they should just make the whole season. They already put out so much into it. But even if it ultimately just turned into a Netflix film, finish the story. Like, let them finish this. Glow had a following that was pretty impactful.
That's wild that all that money got exchanged and they're still just like, nah, Netflix, we're basically bankrupt, but you can still keep all that money. Like, that's weird. That's
why they're bankrupt.
Exactly. They make such interesting decisions. And it's not like Glow isn't a show people don't like. People like that show. Yeah.
Well, this is the most people ever watching our live stream ever.
We can't see what it says.
I can't see the number.
Oh, it says 6.
Oh, cool.
Right on.
Hello, 6 people.
6 of you. I love you.
I know 2 of you.
There you go.
Okay.
I got Mag and Kate Titus, but besides that, hello.
All right, I'm gonna skip that one for now. Go back to that. Loop back around. You guys remember Bee and Puppy Cat?
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you put this in the news.
Yeah, Bee and Puppy Cat is getting a second season called Lazy in Space from Netflix in 2022.
Good job, Netflix.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
great. I'm very
That's real-
happy about it.
It's real cool. I really liked Bee and Puppy Cat.
Bee and Puppy Cat was a popular webtoon show that got popular enough to get its own comic book for a while.
Mhm.
I'm really glad to see it come back.
Yeah. After I said there were 6 people watching us, it went down to 4. So screw you all.
Announce it.
That's what you did.
Oh, it looks really cute.
Oh, have you never seen it, Ryan?
Nope.
It's funny. It's my, it's Frederator. So they were doing at the time that Bee and Puppy Cat they had started Bravest Warriors and Adventure Time.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah.
All right, Netflix has also picked up Blue Eye Samurai, a new anime series written and executive produced by Michael Green and Amber Noisumi. I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize. The show will tell the tale of a mixed-race master of the sword who lives a life in disguise while seeking revenge in Edo period Japan. The cast includes Maya Erskine, George Takei, Masaoka, Randall Park, Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa, Brenda Song, and Darren Barnett.
It's nice to see Masaoka doing something again.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Pretty sure the last thing I saw him do was die in the Meg.
Yeah.
God, it was.
All about that.
What a bad movie.
3 years ago.
And then the other thing that happened at Netflix, well, one of the other things, is that they have decided to no longer produce a series based on the Mark Millar comic, The Magic Order.
I mean, it's the time of Corona. Loving the time of cholera. I get it.
Isn't their whole thing to like build a Millar world?
Yes, they own Miller World.
So the Magic Order was going to be the first one because that was I read that first issue. It's fine. It's a fine first issue. But Magic Society people, blah blah blah. But yeah, it was going to be they paid him millions of dollars to have Netflix be the home to all of his properties.
Yeah,
this is the first one that was going to happen, and it's immediately canceled.
Netflix is making some weird choices.
Well, Jupiter's something. Jupiter's was already
that one. Oh, sorry, that one's actually done filming. That one's still coming out. Oh yeah. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's a
I can't get over the Glow thing.
Yeah.
That really pissed me off. It pissed me off just to know it was canceled, but it really pissed me off when I found out, wait, you're already giving them all that money and you're just being like, nah, guys, we're not going to wait. Just
$millions of paying all your famous
just
people.
move on. And I'm like, why?
It's the damn show.
All of the cast has been so vocal too on Twitter and social media being like, yo, we all would have waited.
Oh yeah, of course.
Good.
Every one of us
They should be vocal.
So I was mistaken. I knew I was wrong about this, but Green Lantern was actually not the second most exciting thing that happened. News that happened to me. It was in fact Godzilla Singular Point.
Oh yeah,
a new Netflix animated Godzilla series, an anime from director Atsushi Takahashi. It's got a full creative team already, people that I am going to butcher, but here we go. Ken Sawada, composer for Doraemon films and series such as Yowamushi Pedal.
Okay.
To Enjo, a Japanese science fiction novelist making his TV debut as editor and writer for the series. Kazu Kato, creator of Blue Exorcist and the hit comic currently serialized in Jump Square, will serve as the character designer. And they showed what the characters look like in a little bit teaser of Godzilla. I really like them so far. I love the design of Godzilla. Animator Eiji Yamamori, whose past work includes iconic Studio Ghibli films, including Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and The Wind Rises. So it's got a lot of people on it.
The anime hails from My Hero Academia studio Bones and Black Bullets Orange.
I had that next bit, yes.
Look beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not getting too excited yet because I got burned last time.
True.
At
least it'll look better.
But at least hopefully it'll look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I think I'm at a place right now where I can actually say Godzilla Planet Eater, the third one, is a good movie.
That's fine.
I'm never gonna watch it.
It's got 2 movies before it that seem real shit. So,
yeah. So I'm excited for this. Like I said, I love the design of Godzilla. We saw the character designs. I really like it. So I'm excited for more Godzilla. I don't even care if it's bad anymore.
I mean, I do. I'd rather it be good.
But
I care if it's bad.
This was so funny that this came out because the whole Godzilla fandom was talking about how sick and tired of that we are that anytime there is news about Godzilla versus Kong, it is only that the banner has changed color, and that's happened like 10 times. Not even kidding. That we've just been like, Godzilla versus Kong, new look, new banner. It's the same banner but with a different color background.
What else to talk about?
So it was really exciting when they were like, "Oh my god, actual news!"
Yeah, it's nice. It's cool. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Blue Exorcist designs are cool, so hopefully those designs will be cool. I'm not a big fan of the show, but I do think the designs are cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
This is right before we get into the New York Comic Con stuff. Will be not New York Comic Con news. By the way, I'm going to try and time code all the news blocks that we do in the description below. So if I did that, you're welcome. If not, suck it. I'm sorry.
Skip every 30 seconds like I do on ads when I listen to Sony podcasts. There you go.
All right. So the Untitled, this didn't even rank in my most excited things, and I'm excited for it. Anyway, Untitled third MCU Spider-Man movie has Benedict Cumberbatch returning as Doctor Strange.
Cool. You brought up a good point about your unexcitement. I realized looking at Twitter that I was not the only one that kind of went, all right.
Yeah.
And it's weird to be that way about it, but I really was. It's like cool. And I think Patrick Willems, was the person who I thought described it the best, where it's super bizarre that we've reached the same point where if I'd heard that this was happening in a comic, it's pretty much the same level of excitement right now. Rather than flipping out.
I'll tell you what it is. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's just expected at this point.
Yeah.
We are fully integrated into a shared universe where these characters are going to be popping in every movie. When I see that, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't go, whoa, what does this mean? I'm like, of course, another hero's going to appear in another hero's movie. We live in 2020. That's the universe we live in.
Did you guys see the CBR article where they were just like, the She-Hulk TV series should go into Bruce Banner's childhood, and it's like, or it could just be about She-Hulk.
Or it could be about Jennifer Walters.
No, we don't give that.
Wonder if Aunt May will meet Strange. Says
Maggie. She needs a new bearded boyfriend. You never know.
I'm sure she will.
So,
here's the thing. I'm not sorry, but real quickly, it's not that I'm not excited for it because I am. I've had so much time away from the MCU that I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm back in. I want to watch MCU again. So I'm excited, but there were so many other things that I was just like, oh my god. So
no, I mean, it's not like unexcitement. It's just like on a much lower level.
Yeah.
It's on a lower level than the Jamie Foxx news right now because that was wild.
See, that is more interesting news because one of the Avengers showing up in another Avengers movie. Shocking. Wow.
The only 2 things I really feel about this is that I'm very intrigued about the timeline of events between WandaVision and this and the Doctor
this
Strange
is before
sequel.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And the other thing is I personally I want to hold off still further away from a live action Spider-Verse experience. Personally, I know that there's a whole bunch of the fandom that's out there wanting that hardcore. And I get it, but this seems like it's going even further in that direction. I'm like, I get it, but it's not where I want to be personally.
I can guarantee that this isn't the Spider-Verse movie, but this is the Spider-Verse setup movie.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Multiverse of Madness is going to be the multiverse movie that explodes everything, and then I think the next Spider-Man movie will probably be pretty wacky, if it's not already Sinister Six. I want one regular
Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland where he does things like the things that were in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he's actually swinging around the city, and he's like, "Hey, kid, I got your back on that bully situation," and then swing out. Guys, some of those moments in Amazing Spider-Man 2 are really good. I didn't watch that movie again recently, but I watched those clips.
I watched X-Men 2 again because it is just now on Disney Plus. It's still good.
Yeah, I want one Tom Holland Spider-Man movie where he doesn't have to have an MCU daddy, and I want him to just go be Spider-Man in the city for one.
Yeah, that's my other thing, is I was just kind of hoping for like a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we weren't going to get that based on how Far From Home ended. Like that, this wasn't going to be that yet, but I just want one. I just want one.
Yeah, I do agree. Yeah.
So we know about Netflix producing a Resident Evil origin movie. I guess there's a Resident Evil animated movie or something coming soon. Nobody will confirm.
No, that movie's real. There's been like 10 Resident Evil animated movies.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not real. It's just I don't know if you saw this, but Dutch Netflix accidentally posted the reveal trailer for a new animated Resident Evil movie that was immediately taken down. And no other Netflix account said it. So Netflix got something, but they're just not saying what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Probably just an accident.
Yeah. But the studio who made the first 6 Resident Evil films is coming back to do a Resident Evil origin movie, which will not be connected to the first 6. So this is the reboot we talked about a little while back after Final Chapter came out. It's going to be set in 1998 on a fateful night in Raccoon City. Directed by Johannes Roberts, who directed both of the 47 Meters Down films.
Okay.
And he had this quote where he was like, "I really just wanted to take the series back to its Resident Evil 1 and 2 roots."
Okay.
So the whole cast was announced.
We're getting 2 brand new Resident Evil things like around the same time. That's so nice.
And we kind of knew we were heading for that.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy to know that it's really going through, because usually one of those projects dies on the way.
Like we just talked about that Netflix TV show one.
Yeah.
Kaya Scodelario?
Sure.
From Maze Runner. They're from Maze Runner. Will play Claire Redfield. Hannah John Kamen, from who was actually Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, she's dope. Yeah.
Will play Jill Valentine.
She's Jill? That's pretty good. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Robbie Amell will play Chris Redfield.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Tom Hopper, who is Luther in Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Will play Albert Wesker.
That is perfect casting, dude. He's
gonna rule as Wesker.
Awesome.
Oven Yogia, sure. Who is actually in Zombieland Double Tap, will play Leon S. Kennedy, and Neil McDonough will play William Birkin.
This is a dope ass cast.
It's a good cast.
So I can get that cool Netflix original thing about Wesker family, but I can also get like the actual Resident Evil story. This is dope, and that cast is dope. Is this also Netflix?
No, this is going to be a feature.
Okay, cool. Man, that sounds cool.
I was sold on the cast. I'm like, this is a really good cast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exciting. I love Resident Evil. I want good Resident Evil stuff.
And then before we get into New York Comic Con, Cleopatra was revealed today that Cleopatra is getting a new biopic. You know, the Greek princess, right? Greek?
Egyptian.
No, but she ruled Greece.
No,
she didn't. Anyway, she's going to get...
No,
I don't know who I'm thinking of.
Partnership with Julius Caesar for a time, that's for sure.
Yes.
That's not what I was thinking about, but I knew that. Anyway.
And then Mark Antony.
Oh, Jennifer Lopez's ex-husband?
All right, anyway, so Paramount is developing a biopic. Patty Jenkins is set to direct with Laeta Kalogridis. I'm sorry. She'll write the script. And Gal Gadot has been cast as, what's her name? Cleopatra.
Tom Hopper is an excellent actor. You're correct.
Yeah.
He is also,
he's so good for Oscar.
Gal's a great choice for Cleopatra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just thinking of the last Egyptian movie that a bunch of white people made.
Gods of Egypt?
Exodus, Gods and Kings too.
Oh.
I'm just like,
I thought we were talking about The Mummy.
No. Well, I mean, to be fair, almost all of Hollywood Egyptian movies are a bunch of white people. So like, but that's a problem. But like,
what are you talking about? Christian Bale was Moses. He's not. Yeah.
Was this the week where Oded Fehr got his attention?
Oh yeah, it should have been Doctor Strange. Yeah.
Put Oded Fehr and Cleopatra, you cowards.
Yeah,
I think Witch Historian is slightly behind, but yes, Cleopatra ruled Egypt.
I think they would know. Being actual historian.
Oh my God, put Oded Fehr in the Doctor Strange film as an alternate dimension Doctor Strange.
I want that. I want that very bad.
Sam Raimi would do it
anyway. Sorry. Cleopatra, that's cool. I mean, Gal, I think, is a really good casting choice for her.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins, I've liked her stuff so far, so I have no reason to be against this yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm into it. Also, more specifically, just jumping back, what I want in a Spider-Man movie is I want him to fight Kingpin. That's what I want.
Dude,
I want a movie about
D'Onofrio?
him in the city fighting D'Onofrio.
Didn't D'Onofrio tweet something about how bad he wants to go
not
back?
just once, like 5 times.
Like 5 times. There were many places that were saying, with all these casting announcements for Spider-Man 3, who do you want to see? And he'd respond to them and go,
Me.
When I was a boy. And they'd be like, oh, you're right.
Also, can we please get Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, please, and thank you.
Get 'em all.
Everybody, that was the funniest part about the Jamie Foxx announcements, was everybody going, look, if we could get Jamie Foxx back again as Electro, we can get Charlie Cox as Daredevil again.
Please.
Yeah. He is the best Daredevil, and there's only been 2 of them.
All right. So, wait, who was the dude? Who's the weird dude who did the movie with Black Widow and Daredevil? Andy Warhol.
What are you talking about?
It's a black and white Daredevil movie. He bought the rights to Daredevil specifically so that he could make a Daredevil movie.
Wait, like Daredevil comic book?
That sounds dope as hell. No.
I think it's Andy Warhol.
I could have sworn the only Daredevil movie we had besides Charlie Cox was the Ben Affleck one.
No, if I didn't have to read the news, I would look it up, but I have to read the news. Which story says she was the last Fair which yes, no.
Yes, which is what everyone was saying to you, Brandon, because you'd gotten confused. Read up.
Anyway. I'm stuck reading Dune. All right.
Yeah, no, you're not.
All right, so New York Comic Con news. Very exciting stuff happened at New York Comic Con. We got the first 7 minutes of Resident Alien, Alan Tudyk's show on Sci-Fi, coming. Did anyone watch this?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this looks really good.
It does.
Yeah. It's always interesting when they just release like a whole, like, here's the first like 5-10 minutes of it. I'm like, that's cool. I'm gonna have to watch the whole thing again.
I do kind of wish I had a better idea of what the show was gonna be.
Yeah.
Just overall.
Yeah.
Oh, Mag, thank you. Yes, Warhol did it. Andy Warhol did a Daredevil movie.
Interesting.
Did I get
now?
K Titus asked, did you get anything from the con? I ended up getting the Wonder Woman 84 pop figure.
I just got news.
I
got news.
I just got this shirt. Not really.
I got K-Tice. I got Jack Diddley Squat.
Astro, you gotta calm down. Good God.
I'm excited to see what's his name? Alan Tudyk in a show again.
Oh yeah. Me too.
Hey, you want to see Alan Tudyk in a show? Watch Doom Patrol.
Hell yeah.
It's based on a comic book also, we should mention. The Resident Alien is based on a comic book. All right. The Stand. Ben Magnet's most anticipated thing of the year. The Stand. CBS All Access's The Stand got its first trailer finally.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah. If I weren't nervous about the man behind it all, I'd be 100% in, but I'm like cautiously in. I'm really happy about Alexander Skarsgård as the Man in Black. I think he's a much better choice for it than Matthew McConaughey, to be honest.
All right.
Oh, that's the same. Okay. I had a few.
They're the same character, yes.
Yeah.
Not that McConaughey I think is bad. I just think Skarsgård can bring a lot more of who that character is to the role than McConaughey did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, from
that's his fault.
From what I got of the trailer, Skarsgård seemed a lot creepier, or not just creepier, but a lot more like menacing. Like if he were to walk into a room as that character, you'd be like, I'm not talking to that guy. That guy's creepy.
Yeah, I don't know jack shit about The Stand except that it's like post-apocalyptic and people have to like stand together. Like there's like weird Mad Max looking stuff, but also like weird supernatural shit and like alternate dimensions. And I'm like, oh, it's a Stephen King thing.
James Marsden's in it.
Yeah, it's got a great cast. Like I love James Marsden.
The Stand, obviously because of the involvement of the Man in Black, but The Stand is the most Dark Tower connected of Stephen King's books that isn't The Dark Tower.
Yeah.
You like the Dark Tower title.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird shit in it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. What? I'm sorry. What network is it again? Amazon.
It's going to be CBS All Access.
God damn it!
Yeah, I know.
I can't do too many services.
I am pleased that they're going into it knowing like limited series. They're not trying to stretch this out over a long period of time. So I hope that they'll.
Guys,
yeah,
you can use my login.
Thank you.
We actually have Megan's sisters.
Oh snap! This is a revelation.
Screw you.
There's also the real free trial option.
I thought you were gonna do let the girl speak.
Let the girl speak.
All right. Anyway, all right. Invincible also had its first trailer to the Amazon Prime animated series. Invincible. This looks awesome,
Guys.
I love the animation style for this.
I think I think this is a good trailer. I do think like the animation seems a little stiff, but I think it's going to look better once you see the whole thing. But like just the fact that this is real, like this is truly like a 10-year like buildup of a insane saga of like this family and this kid becoming a superhero. And I'm just so excited. And the fact that it's animated means they can go insanely gross. Like it is one of the most violent comics ever made. Much like The Boys, this is going to be like very much like actual superhero The Boys, but you're following superheroes. Like it goes into all the tropes and stuff like that.
It looks like I'm just gonna call him Invincible. I don't know. I never read an Invincible book in my life. But is he called Invincible or okay? Because it looks like he's squeezing a head and eyes popping out in the trailer.
Yes.
That's grotesque.
It's very, very violent.
I mean, luckily they cut away before the big money shot, but at the same time, it's like, ooh, that's gross.
Got a great cast.
I do think the animation looks a little stiff, but I still think it looks really cool. It looks like that comic come to life, which is really all you can ask for.
It does,
J.K. Simmons and Steve Yeun. Yay.
Yeah.
From Voltron.
And Avatar Legend of Korra.
Oh, yeah.
From also maybe The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
The guy where Robert Kirkman maybe met him from. Like, I don't know, maybe.
All right, this was
famous comic books in all of history. We're just going, yeah.
This was the most exciting thing that happened to me this week.
Okay.
Star Trek Prodigy.
Oh.
Star Trek had a panel that showed the first 3 minutes of Discovery. Looks great. But then Alex Kurtzman, scum of the earth as he is, was on there and is like, we brought in a new character for Star Trek Prodigy, and then Kate Mulgrew says permission to come aboard, and she shows up, and it's revealed that Kate Mulgrew, Captain Catherine Janeway herself, last seen as Admiral Janeway, will be returning to the role in Star Trek Prodigy. And guys, I was so excited.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but she's the captain of the Voyager, correct?
Yes, she was in Voyager.
What's Prodigy?
Prodigy is the Nickelodeon animated series.
Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. They got someone from Voyager. That's awesome. I'm happy for her.
I love the Janeway love because she's often overlooked because Voyager is seen as kind of the black sheep of Star Trek. But I like that character a whole lot, and I like Kate Mulgrew a lot. So that's really exciting to me.
Wasn't she in Nemesis?
I am happy for you.
Yeah, she was. Admiral Catherine Janeway was in Nemesis, which we did a commentary of, and then she forgot what I was going to say.
She did more stuff as a captain of the thing.
Middle of watching Voyager for the first time says Mag. Yeah, I like Voyager, especially like Catherine Janeway. So I'm very excited for that. I flipped my lid. All right, The Watch had a first trailer. Terry Pratchett's Discworld, correct?
Discworld.
Yes.
I've never read Discworld. But from all the reactions online, this isn't Discworld. I don't think this trailer, it had a lot of like whimsy, and it felt very like wasted space, like very like, oh, we're insane in space and blah blah blah. But I don't think any of the jokes really connected. I think it was trying to be a little try hard.
It was just all over the place because they're like, oh, this is magical in nature. So I'm like, okay, are we in a fantasy world? And then there's people with cell phones. I'm like, are we in a mixture?
Right.
Mixture, and then like there's like different dimensions. Apparently, I'm like, oh, okay.
Apparently, it's like a straight just like bastardization of whatever the original source material is, and it's a bummer.
I was talking to Ryan after we watched it, and I said there was a sci-fi show called Defiance That was a pretty good like world building space show, and where that show ended up looks similar to the vein that they're trying to go for world building wise of this one. But that took time to get there, and this looks like just a hodgepodge of stuff that's trying to sell you on
edginess.
Yeah, this character is an edgy John Constantine type, so you're sold, yeah?
Very much, yeah. And I Discworld is like the thing where like everyone's on like back of like a turtle, like that's like that where that stuff comes from, like the weird big fantasy stuff. So I'm like, I guess maybe if it's good, I'll check out the first episode.
This was not a good trailer.
No.
I'm not going to say the show is going to be bad, but this was a bad trailer.
Yeah, it felt very try-hard.
Before we move on, there were other trailers that we are not going to cover, such as The Expanse, Snowpiercer, and
shows we don't watch. Yeah,
American Gods. We're not watching those shows, so we can't comment on their later season trailers.
The other thing is, since we're talking about trailers, we're not going to talk about. I'm just going to mention today is National Coming Out Day, and there was a trailer for. I got it right here. Hold on. I didn't want to make us watch it and talk about it because we had too much going on. But everybody's talking about Jamie.
Oh,
yeah. Which is all about. It's inspired by true events, and it's about Jamie New, who's 16 and doesn't quite fit in, and they're coming out into what they really want to pursue as a career, which has to do with drag. And it's a cool looking trailer. So check it out when you get the chance.
Yeah.
Love it.
But we're not talking about it.
MODOK released 2 clips. Our first look at MODOK was near Comic-Con. They released 2 clips. Also, it was revealed that they will have X-Men characters, and at the end of every episode, they will promote comic books, which is awesome.
Gotta be honest, guys. This looks like a winner to me.
Yeah.
Like when we heard all those Hulu shows, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to.
MODOK was always the one I was on board with the moment you said Patton Oswalt is voicing MODOK in an animated show, and I'm like, well, I'm not worried at all.
And it's stop motion, and it looks really fun and like very violent.
I'm so sorry. I thought this coffee was for everybody.
Yeah, like MODOK being like
the CPA is like, don't forget, I have to do your personal taxes. Oh damn.
Yeah. This and what's the spooky Satan the Hellstrom. Like this looks way better than Hellstrom, but like these are both shows where I was like a year ago I necessarily didn't really want these. But it just goes to show me what you got. Show me what you got.
This is the other Hulu show that Kevin Feige forgot to cancel.
I think because they were just too far in. Don't tell Netflix that.
Didn't Kevin Smith had anything to do with MODOK, or am I misremembering?
No, Kevin Smith had Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
he had Howard the Duck. Okay, because I thought swore I heard he was also producing MODOK, but
no, that was Howard the Duck, MODOK, Silver Sable, I think. But they had like an Offenders. They were going to do like an Offenders animated universe.
Yeah, they were
on Hulu. And MODOK is the only one that survived.
This looks very charming.
MODOK's name. Aim is MODOK. Wow, if that's how you feel, then we really have to have a conversation about how this is going to affect our relationship.
It's crazy that MODOK is having a banger year because he had the game where he's the villain, and now he has a show. I'm like, the year of MODOK. Wow, good for that guy.
Working their way up to giving him a movie.
Oh, Jesus.
MODOK, King Shark having hell of a years.
Oh, yeah.
He voiced MODOK live in VR game. Oh, Patton Oswalt, cool.
Yeah. Patton Oswalt, big comic guy.
Yeah.
Good.
Right. He wrote a Firefly comic, which is really cool. Right towards the end of, we lost all of our watchers. It's just Mag now.
I love you, Mag.
Right after the convention's come to an end, there wasn't a whole lot of news on Saturday.
Wait, sorry. I wasn't really processing what Mag said. Mag, do you mean like the live Avengers VR experience thing? He voiced MODOK?
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Mag, what is that? Because that
I didn't know.
Oh, look.
That'd be cool. All right. Animaniacs had their first, well, not their first look, but, kind of a new trailer being like, hey, we're coming November 20th. And it was all a riff on Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Hell yeah, it was.
You know what?
I'm mad about it.
No, I'm not mad about it. I did have a weird moment watching it where I liked it as a gag, but I also sat there and went, I don't know if Animaniacs works today.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
I disagree. %.
I think that I think that
Mag says, yeah, but it was Kevin Smith. Oh, Kevin Smith was MODOK in?
Oh, that's weird.
wow.
Huh.
Got it. Wow.
Mag, if that is not true, use longer sentences.
In the Marvel experience, yeah, he voices.
That's
Kevin
crazy.
Smith?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey man, it's me, MODOK.
Man, we gotta do that live experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just something about I feel like there's a lot of just a nostalgia draw to where I go, yeah, cool, more Animaniacs. And I don't know if the punching down humor will work today. I'm just not sure about it. I think honestly, I was conflicted about when I saw the clip, and I think Lindsay Ellis worded it better than I could. Lindsay Ellis comes from a place where she didn't like Animaniacs to begin with. I'm not in that same place, but I do think she brings up a really good point about their comedy is very much based around very much harassing the idea of grown-ups and can be very punching down. And I don't know if that's going to fly today. I don't know if it's going to land. While I enjoyed the gag, I didn't go, we need more Animaniacs from it. That's where I sat.
Sure.
I wasn't too big into Animaniacs. I saw a little bit of it. All I remember is the movie, which I remember being sad. Trying to remember, because I remember something about 2 pence, which is how I knew what 2 pence meant.
2 penny?
And, maybe? And like there was a movie and it was snowing and they were walking and it was sad. And like Dot was dying or something. Yeah, no, Dot was dying.
Yakko, Wacko, and yeah, because Wacko had like a hay penny, which was like
He had
apparently
a hay penny. Yes, a hay penny.
I remember. I watched this movie too.
Yes.
But all I could think of is how he wished for not 1, but 2 hay pennies, and then everyone starts saying how he has 2 hay pennies. I'm like, how much is a hay penny?
Oh my god, I just remembered how it ended. Oh man, that movie's wild.
Nostalgia.
Mag says, love the Prince joke. Yes, that's the funny joke. I was thinking about that the other day.
I was like, give me the bird. We'd love to, but the Fox censors won't allow us to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be fun. November 20th is when it's coming. I'm going to look up that movie real quick.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm in a weird place with it right now.
Sure,
but I hope so.
Yeah.
There were definitely like some nice in this clip, specifically the you've got Pinky in the Brain. Of course, we have Pinky in the Brain.
Say again.
We have Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah. Animaniacs, Wacko's Wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
Now, Wacko's Wish. Now I'm starting to remember it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I think
Anyway.
once when I was like a baby, a bibs.
I think I only saw it once, so it must have been on like Nickelodeon. No, not Nickelodeon. Maybe Cartoon Network. I don't remember.
Nick.
All right. It was on Kids WB, Ben.
Oh yeah, it was.
The dubs.
Okay. Trailer talk. These are the
Wow.
trailers.
Tea time.
No, that was before the show.
Oh, you're right.
Free Guy had a new trailer.
Yes, it did.
I'm more excited about this than I had been, simply because when we were watching trailers before, I had not yet watched Killing Eve. I have now watched Killing Eve, and the person who I've been praising, who plays Villanelle, is Jodie Comer.
Mhm.
Jodie Comer is the lady in this. She's the lead lady.
But like glasses.
Yeah, so I'm way more excited about this now because of that.
Yeah.
Which is why I say that I'm way more excited because of that, because not a lot else is making me go, hell yeah.
I just feel like I saw this in Wreck-It Ralph and in like Ready Player One, and it's like there's nothing new here. It just looks really expensive.
I really feel like the whole movie was shown in this trailer.
Yeah, kind of.
And it kind of bums me out because I wanted to see more at first. Because when the first trailer came out, I think I was the most positive about it. Now I'm like, oh, I pretty much saw the whole movie condensed in 2 minutes. Okay, I'll probably go. Like, I do like the joke of where the actual player is telling Ben Schwartz. That's not Ben Schwartz. Frack. That's the other guy for Stranger Things.
Steve Harrington.
Thank you. Oh wait, no, that's his. Damn it, that's not his real name.
No, his name is Steve Harrington for life. Let's just call him Steve Harrington.
The guy who plays Steve on Stranger Things. About there's not a button you can do that. He found the button.
Yeah. Yeah, consensual jokes. Yeah, okay. I really. There's not enough video game like representation in movies, like good video game representation. And I don't think this is helping this at all because it just looks like bad GTA.
It does look like bad GTA.
Yeah, and I'm like, again, Wreck-It Ralph, I think, did this scenario, but like way cooler.
Because Wreck-It Ralph has the best video game representation you can
exactly
see in a movie.
Yeah.
So,
I guess also being animated helps, but I want to like I like Ryan Reynolds, like I like Taika Waititi, but like
I do.
I just hope these trailers.
Got a good cast.
Yeah, I just hope these trailers aren't doing it justice.
Yeah,
I'm probably still gonna go see it when I feel safe to go see it. But
in December.
Yeah, drive-ins, baby.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but besides that,
all right. So a little while ago, we talked about an anime series coming to Netflix called Gods and Heroes. We have now got a trailer for it, but now the new title, Blood of Zeus.
Oh my god, bro! You're always talking about where's the mature Greek mythology shit.
Here it is.
They heard you, Brandon.
Well, I'm always just saying, where's the Greek mythology shit?
Here it is.
But specifically, like, yo, we're getting Phoenix, the immortal bad name game, and that looks like fun Greek mythology. We're getting this. It looks dark and shit. It looks like Castlevania. Like in terms of tone, because like it looks like it because it's the same.
It's by the same team.
Yeah, I just like hardcore Greek mythology is like I want more of it.
Which does mean we'll have a little bit of my same animation problems about like the dead eye problem.
Yes,
but I can get over it.
Sick.
I think it'll bother me less in this show.
Yeah, the monster fights will be dope as hell.
It looks bloody as hell. You got Hera.
He says his name is Hera. He's gonna be Heracles.
Heracles, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless they're doing like I was like they wouldn't make him like a gender reverse Hera. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Of course, okay, when I said Hera 5 minutes ago, I meant the goddess Hera, not Heracles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this looks really cool. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I'm
at the end of this month.
Yeah, I don't know many like mature animated Greek mythology things. So I'm definitely gonna watch this.
Yeah. Let's talk about Mel Gibson in the new movie Fat Man.
Listen, if he's the bad guy in it and he gets to get maybe murdered in it,
Is he the bad guy?
Yes.
Doesn't look like he is, honestly.
No. It looks like Walton Goggins is going to be the bad guy.
Oh, I thought it was like I want to kill like even.
No. The kid
is bad, so I want him to die in the movie, even if he's good or not.
Yeah.
It looks like the kid is the true villain, and Walton Goggins is the apparatus he uses.
There you go. But it does look like Santa's in a bad spot.
Yeah,
he's not in high hopes.
It's Mel Gibson's bad murder Santa.
It's weird because at first I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then as the trailer went on, it just kept losing me. It's like, wait, so the military knows Santa's real?
Oh, see, the more I watched it, the more I liked it because like. Ben, it's talking about Santa Claus. This isn't a realistic movie.
Well, I know.
Wait. Santa? Are you telling me that Santa's not real?
Not only is he not real. No, never mind. That's it.
He's real. Oh, thank God.
Good thing I can't see that.
Thank you, Sam. I was glad you can't hear us.
You're welcome. I really like Walton Goggins, which is a lot of what makes me want to see this. But I really don't like Mel Gibson, which is a lot of what makes me not want to see it.
Yeah.
And I was surprised with how little. I think it's just the way they cut the trailer, but how little we actually see a lot of Mel Gibson doing the action. We see a lot of Walton Goggins action, but very little of actual Mel Gibson's stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what he's doing throughout the movie.
It seems to me that it's
other than preparing for Walton Goggins' arrival.
So I think that's exactly what it is. It's like a Skyfall scenario where we follow Walton Goggins and then we get interspliced with Mel Gibson home aloneing his house or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's a final confrontation that lasts 30 minutes long or whatever.
Yeah. It's just they have this tagline in the trailer where they're like, you don't want to be on his hit list. And I'm like, have I seen him kill people in this trailer and I've missed it?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the second Krampus movie?
No.
Was the second one?
No. The lower budget Krampus movie that came out the same year that Krampus came out.
No, because I saw the good Krampus movie, so I got.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about that because that's reminding me of this.
You're right, Nick. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that there is a Santa Claus storyline where he is going through and finding out that all the elves are killed, and he's trying to figure out who's killing all the elves. It's an anthology story, so you're following a family, and then you're following also William Shatner, who is a disc jockey on a radio talking about how his partner.
Why you like it?
No, it's not good. I'm not saying I like it.
Oh, okay.
he's talking about how his weatherman is over at a mall that is under attack and and a bunch of people are being held hostage. And then the Santa Claus story is he's like, and everything is pretty real. And then Santa Claus goes to fight the Krampus, and then it's revealed that he is in fact the weatherman who went crazy and held the mall hostage, and he's been killing people, and all the elves are the people that he's held hostage. That is a movie. That's wild.
Doesn't seem very fun.
No. Yeah, that just reminded me of it because it's going to all be a dream.
Yeah. I think the biggest bummer for me about Fat Man is it seems like something I'd be more excited for if someone else was playing Santa.
Well, duh.
And that's just
yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is that it's a cool concept, and I wish I could be more invested in it. But I have a great dislike for Mel Gibson, which makes it very hard to get invested.
No, I understand that.
All right.
And I love Family Dragons, so it's so hard.
I'm gonna separate the art from the artist. We talk about this every week.
We have for sure.
There you go.
The Addams Family 2 released a announcement trailer saying that they're coming. Can't stop us in October.
Next year.
I wish we could.
Damn, well, let's see the Addams Family movie because I haven't seen it.
I saw it.
No.
It was playing at the Chino Hills movie playing the big pop-up movie thing.
Oh.
It's all right.
It's all right.
All right.
No interest in seeing the sequel.
I got my Addams Family movie. It came out in the 90s. I'm good.
And its sequel.
Also in the 90s.
A first trailer and reveal that Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous had been renewed for a second season. So we got the first trailer for the second season. Did anybody watch this?
I saw it.
Yeah, we watched the trailer.
It was barely a trailer.
If you told us that was footage all from season 1, we'd believe you.
Yep.
No, this is season 2 because now they're stranded on the island. I liked season 1 more than I thought I would. I would go so far as to say I actually liked it. So I'm excited for this. Pleasantly surprised.
Good.
I have no feelings.
Yeah.
I like the potential of these kids are stranded on the island now waiting for rescue.
I'll get more invested if they start dying in this season.
Yeah, show me some stakes and not
since you don't care. There's a sequence where one of the kids is framed as a kill shot as a pterodactyl actually goes in for the kill. His fate is left unknown at the end of the season, but it was a pretty intense moment.
I believe it. He's definitely still alive, just so you know.
Yes, his best friend was an ankylosaur named Bumpy.
Oh, Bumpy.
He's really cute, actually.
I believe it.
All right. The Astronauts. This is a Nickelodeon series that I did not know was coming until the other day. And I thought this was pretty cool.
Kids in space.
This looks... Yeah. This has like a level of maturity and no offense to Netflix original things, but this feels almost just like a regular movie. Just have kids as stars of it. It feels like almost like a big push for Nickelodeon. Yo man, we could make dramas too. Of course, that kid stuff in it.
I was expecting, in the trailer, I was expecting them oh my gosh, we're in space, and then the big antagonizing force was oh, how much trouble we get in when we land, and then when a bunch of stuff goes wrong with the ship and fix it, I'm like,
there's a giant squid. There's a giant squid that attacks them in space.
Yeah, there's some alien stuff. Looks like
what got me is just doing this back to back with Camp Cretaceous. I'm I feel like this Astronauts live action show with children is more adult than Camp Cretaceous. Yeah, and that's impressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got the kid from Good Boys. I like that guy.
Yeah, I love that kid.
Seeing him.
He's also from Last Man on Earth.
There you go.
He's super good.
I doubt I'll watch this on like opening day or anything, but like if I hear it's pretty good, I'm like, I could check that out.
No, it's a TV series.
Oh, it's a show. Oh, I'm definitely not watching it.
but you know, good that something like that's being made. That's
I grew up loving space, and there's simply not enough cool like in
you
really
get
good
away. You want to fly away?
Oh, Lenny Kravitz, you son of a bee. This looks like like I wish this was something I had when I was growing up. This looks cool.
For sure.
David Fincher's coming back and making a movie called Mank.
He left Mindhunter for this.
It's a black and white. I like the Netflix international production he has on it. Looks really good.
Yeah, it's about the writer of Citizen Kane, and it's Hollywood in like the 20s, and he's an alcoholic, and making movies is hard, and we're all drunk and sad. But like, Hollywood eats that shit up. Just give it the Oscar now.
That'll be fun.
Ooh,
I love every once in a while like a good black and white movie. I'm into it.
Yeah. While I was watching it, I actually thought that I mistook this for a crime noir movie, and I was really excited for it.
Just because it's black and white.
I don't know. It was black and white. It was.
Guys, I did it again.
What'd you do?
I convinced I mixed up all the Finches.
It's David Fincher.
I know. Who's the guy who did Twin Peaks?
It's David Lynch.
David Lynch.
I got them confused again.
But you said David Fincher though, so you're okay.
Yeah.
No, but I said David Fincher thinking I said David Lynch.
Yeah. But it's David Fincher who did Alien 3, like you brought up earlier.
There you go. David Lynch is not a representation of tonight. There's no Lynchian stuff involved.
I like the it looks like they're doing something cool. What's that? Netflix, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Made old school. Yeah. I'm into it.
Promising Young Woman. We haven't talked about this movie in a while. This is the new trailer. Promising Young Woman.
I was so stoked. If you followed me on Twitter, you know that within the last week I tweeted about this.
Yeah.
Thinking like, it's October time. That movie is horror-esque at least. I wish it were out right now. Not that I don't want to make money, but I would love to get that on VOD and watch it right now because I'm stoked for that movie. And then a trailer dropped and they're like, it's coming out Christmas. And I'm like, great. Yeah. Great. I want to watch this movie.
Yeah.
I did not forget about it. It's stuck with me for a while. I still want to see it.
I'm very... Yeah.
And now we know about a new cast member I didn't know was in it because he's in this trailer, which is Alfred Molina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Playing old seductress, maybe. Carey Mulligan, she rules. When we talked about this like months ago, we were excited.
Yeah, I'm more excited.
Bad dudes get their comeuppance.
I'm really glad that this was a second trailer to raise more awareness about the movie, and I don't feel like they spoiled anything further about it because they left it with like a long scene and not a lot of new footage.
Yeah,
that gave too much away, which I'm really grateful for.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. Very, very excited.
We also got a new trailer for Wolfwalkers, the Apple TV Plus series.
Looks beautiful.
Oh, this looks so cute. Oh my gosh.
It does. I want to watch it, but I don't want to get Apple Plus to watch it.
Get a new phone.
Free trial.
Then you get it free for a year.
Oh.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's what I have.
Oh.
Yeah. This looks just really,
doesn't have
really
to be
charming.
just a phone. Just buy any new Apple device.
Oh.
There you go.
Apple TV Plus for a year, baby.
Surely, because that is less expensive.
So we can watch it.
Yes, we can.
That is less expensive than buying a subscription to Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, go buy a new device.
Irish. I was like, is it Scottish? It's Ireland. It's Irish folklore.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. This looks good.
I am excited.
And it looks gorgeous.
And then the new Joe Manganiello film, Arch Enemy.
Yeah, this is. It's like from the producers of Mandy and another weird ass crazy movie.
Color Out of Space.
I'm like, oh cool, we're gonna get another crazy movie, and it's like
this is another Legion M backed project.
Yeah. What if a superhero lands and he doesn't have any of his powers? It's basically a good.
He's trapped outside of the dimension where he has powers.
Yeah. And I love the idea of like, is this guy just crazy or does he actually have powers? Like that idea is so fun and I just think this looks rad, and Joe Manganiello is such a dope guy.
It's also nice just to get to see him lead a film like this.
Yeah,
he doesn't get that opportunity much.
It looks like a lot of fun, and I fully expect a crazy superhero finale of some kind, or maybe there's a movie called Special with Michael Rappaport, and he's about a guy who takes a placebo drug that a doctor gives him that's supposed to give him superpowers, and he imagines himself having superpowers, and it actually makes him mentally unstable. And I wonder if it's going to go in that scenario where he doesn't actually have any superpowers, like it's all fake, it's all in his head. So I wonder if they will go that route. But knowing this is the Mandy people, I'm like, it's probably wacky.
Yeah,
it's probably wacky.
That's it.
Burning through it.
We did it. All right, now we're going to talk about the new movie, Vampires versus the Bronx. There's full spoilers for the new Netflix original movie, Vampires versus the Bronx.
Initial thoughts for everyone, in case people don't want to get spoiled. What'd you all think of it?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was all right. I liked it.
I liked it. It was very fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk all about it. There's vampires in it.
Oh, shit.
Vampires in the
wrong
Bronx.
movie.
Sorry.
I watched Zombies versus the Bronx.
Watch Werewolves in Brooklyn.
This was a good time.
Manhattan.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, Ghouls over in Queens.
Oh, there you go.
No, alliteration. Go for alliteration.
No, they come in.
Has with the weird Q in it.
They come in through the airport. Ghouls and LaGuardia.
I hate all of this.
Well, has anyone ever been through LaGuardia Airport? Because I hear that place sucks.
I did. When I went to New York. I don't know.
I also went to New York at one point.
Did you go through LaGuardia or did you go through JFK?
I was a child.
I did not go through JFK. I know that.
Right.
Speaking of JFK, he wasn't alive when this movie takes place, which is now. Vampires versus the Brooklyns. The Bronx.
The plot basically is that these kids realize that there's a vampire plot. By the way, the evil company has a picture of Vlad Tepes III, which I thought was cool.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was it.
Yeah, and they're buying up all these places in the Bronx to move in and make a nest.
Gentrify.
And they're all white.
Yes.
That's important for themes reasons.
Yes.
Yeah. This and Lovecraft Country are tackling white as actual evil, which is awesome and interesting. I love it. I don't think this movie did anything that like blew my brain out, but the entire time I was having a good time. I think it's well acted. I think it's very fun. Like it's very tropey in the ways that a lot of these movies are, but not in any bad way. It's a nice pleasant experience.
Yeah, I watched this with my girlfriend, and there's a moment in the movie where the kids decide to watch Blade to learn how to kill vampires. And I was watching the movie, and my girlfriend goes, "What is that?" It's Blade. What's a blade? I need to show you a blade. How have I not shown you Blade?
The fact that she doesn't even know what it is, it's hard for me to believe that. But I've met weirder people, I guess.
You've also met my girlfriend, so
no,
really.
It's true. No, you're right.
Yeah. So I need to show her Blade now.
Blade rules.
Blade is great.
Just watching the kids watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, that movie does rule.
Yeah. Some mother effers always want to ice skate uphill.
Yeah, I was hoping that would be in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like, I think all the kids are really good. I like the plot with for some reason, is it Bobby, the kid who hangs out with the thug?
Yeah.
Is it Bobby? Okay, yeah. Bobby's whole idea with like his dad was a gang member and like he wants to be like his dad, but like he also wants to escape like the realities of life and like in that situation and be better than that. I'm like, oh, that's something really good.
Yeah, the thug is from Legion.
Oh, is that
yeah.
What's his name? Memento. No, not Memento.
You're close though.
I
knew
Patanomy.
Yeah, Patanomy.
Yeah. God.
That is him.
Yeah. His name's Henny, short for Hennessy. Yeah, he's like a nice, like believable threat in the movie. Yeah, I'm like, it's hard for me to like talk about it because like there's nothing that's like bad, but nothing's really like.
I don't think this movie's bad, but there are times like when Henny shows up and when Bobby does ditch Henny to go back to Miguel and the other kid whose name I forgot. I feel like Henny could have been another bigger antagonist, but they kind of just sweep him like once he sees the vampires, he's like, well, he's dead automatically. It's like I feel like there was no clear consequence. I mean, not that dying isn't a big consequence in the movie, but I felt like there could have been something more for that, but there wasn't.
I didn't feel like there needed to be with Henny. I would have kept him the same. I would have expanded more on specifically two of the vampires.
Victoria,
as obviously, and then the second to last dude who makes it.
Who doesn't really? He's like the first one we see.
He opens the film with a lot of like possible potential and personality, and they don't.
He doesn't.
They don't take it far enough.
He never talks.
He just had that cool scene in the bodega and then leaves.
Yeah, I would rather have those two more expanded on and leave Henny at pretty much exactly where he's at.
Yeah. Frank's cool
because I think that's more important. Frank is a well-used character.
I like that actor a lot
with a good arc.
I did like the fake out that he was a familiar because at first I thought he was a familiar because all the other vampires you see have like bright white hair and he's the one who has natural hair. Mm-hmm. But then when the curtains lower. When they go into his office, and he's like, "Oh, the afternoon sun can be murdered." I was like, "Are you a vampire, baby?"
Yeah, it's a little fake out, yeah. Then he comes outside and he's like, "Oh, vampires in my streets? No way, Jose."
I think all the kids are really talented.
Yeah,
I think they do a good job.
I like the priest a lot.
the kid who plays Miguel is really good. The priest, is that who you said?
Yeah, the priest.
Method Man.
What?
Method Man.
Oh, that was Method Man.
Method Man's my favorite person ever. Right?
So Zoe Saldana is in the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, she's keeping up the horror celebrity cameo trope.
That is like a very good trope.
That comes from many films, specifically Scream. Scream's most known for it, where you're the first kill. I thought that was really nice. I thought that was a cool appearance.
Yeah, and sets up the plot pretty nice and easy.
Yeah.
I really liked the bodega guy. I was really sad that he died, but I also love his scene when he realizes that the girl's a vampire, when he's looking down the thing. He's like,
me too.
Yeah,
I'm out of bags.
I really liked it too, and we were kind of suspecting from the way she entered the bodega that she was a vampire.
Yeah.
But I definitely, I was wondering for a moment. I'm like, could she be Blade? Could she be a vampire that kills other vampires?
Yeah.
Could we be getting a double fake out here?
And then no.
Nah, she's lead commander.
I do like how it's not like a third act reveal that like it's me, I'm the commander. It's just like in the second act, it's like, no, here she is.
Yeah.
It's just like very nonchalant. I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's not like
it's very casual.
Yeah, it's like we all figured it out. Like you didn't try to hide it from the audience. Like we're not stupid.
When she couldn't enter into the apartment.
That's when you knew.
I thought that was a really good reveal because I'm like, oh, she's totally a vampire, and then finally she like says, okay, jig is up. I killed Tony. Here's the.
I figured she was a vampire when she was at the office with the familiar in the familiar's office. She was just there walking in, and I was like, that's suspect.
Yeah.
Like for a job, and I didn't really think about it for too much past that, and then I started thinking about it later. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
There's I think her name's Gloria. She has like little intersections where she's just like talking to the audience and
she's on a live stream.
She's bulk and falling.
Yeah, she's bulk and
I really appreciate it when characters get on board quickly. So the girl that he likes, when he's just like, oh yeah, vampires, yeah, I'm Haitian, I know their stuff.
Yeah, my mom raised me on that shit. Yeah.
And then their mom, when she realizes that she is in fact a vampire, Vivian is in fact a vampire. She like immediately, okay, we're moving.
Yeah.
The Bronx ain't worth it.
Yeah. I agree, Brandon. Like a lot of people are like, wait, vampires don't exist. It's like when there's clearly proof, and the mom's like, oh, we're getting out of here. Like, that's smart. That's well written.
Yeah. It's not worth it to stay here for this shit.
We are leaving the Bronx.
But I also thought it was a good fake out that we see her by the building, so she didn't need an invitation to go in.
Oh, that is smart. And then she ended up not needing that anyway.
Yeah.
This is very, very spiritually a modern and Black perspective interpretation of the Lost Boys. It's very strongly taking a lot of cues from that. There's a lot of other movies you could look to, Monster Squad in a similar vein. Fright Night even to some extent.
I would say just specifically like the vampire flying. It's like, oh, it's like Fright Night.
Yeah, it does for sure. But the Lost Boys is probably the most direct one for one.
I love the Buffy vampire faces.
Yes, me too. I love when they do makeup like that on vampire faces, and I think at that it succeeds. I think they do a good job of Miguel kind of being like the leader who's brave and has seen it, but he doesn't have all the information. Like he's not the one who knows the most about vampires. That's Luis.
Yeah,
and he's not the one who's disbelieving. That's Bobby. But they've got that whole dynamic going. There's very few moments in the film that I don't think worked. And I honestly can't put my finger on it, but the third act itself, I just find maybe rushed is the word, or just mishandled as a whole. I don't understand the logic, I guess, of Vivia. That's her name, Vivia? Vivian. Yeah. Of her sticking around when there's that many people ready to fight her.
Take on 30 people.
I'd take off at that point. Yeah. I'd call it a night.
Like the priest has a staff with a crucifix on it, and it's like he could just go off and just like stab her, and she should die.
if I did not know that the movie was 86 minutes long when we started, I would have assumed that what was going to happen is she was going to retreat and she was going to find a way to sneak around and get more vampires to come back in greater force, which is what I would expect her to do. So that part kind of doesn't work for me. While I like the idea of the whole Bronx standing up to her standing back up to that standing up is a little weird.
And the MacGuffin of like the vampire powder is completely not used at all. Because like you have to become a vampire, you have to have the dust in you and then get bitten.
It's there to have them have a thing that she needs back.
But they don't use it at all. Like except for a scare that doesn't work.
The only thing what they do with the powder is she blows it in Bobby's face and she's about to bite him. And then,
that's what Ryan meant by a scare that doesn't work.
Yeah, I was like, they could have done something a whole lot more with that.
They could have turned Bobby, and then when they killed Vivian, she went back to normal.
I thought this was going to be similar to Blade 3, where they had to find a thing of Dracula's remains, and then Dracula is alive.
Yeah.
Dominic Parcell.
Yeah.
But so I thought it was going to be that because she's like, this is the remains of the first vampire. I was like, oh, Dracula's going to be in this.
Yeah. I guess that is kind of like a little disappointing element. Like, I feel like this plot point could have just not been in the movie at all. Like at all. It didn't really matter.
Yeah, it was there to enforce a further reason, but like you don't need it. It can go the same way that Fright Night does, which is that once the vampire knows that the person in the neighborhood knows they're a vampire, they target them.
That's all.
And she could have just been targeting the kids for that.
You don't need the key
to get the key back.
Yeah, you don't need a key. You just I want to get the kids.
So you know what I thought was gonna happen? When they go into the nest at the courthouse. And they find Vivian's coffin. They open up and you see the flyer for the bodega block party.
Yeah,
my thought was, they're gonna go into the block party and they're either gonna murder a whole lot of people or turn a whole lot of people into vampires.
I also thought that,
which I assume would have been the plan. If the boys hadn't figured out that they were sleeping upstairs.
Yeah, and then like the water balloon drops, and for some reason when I saw that, it's like Luis the balloon. It's like, wow, that was ADR'd.
Yeah. There's a couple lines that are like,
they look at it above the holy water start bubbling, and they're like, oh wow, man. I felt like a block party invasion, and then all the Bronx would see that, these are vampires. That would have been a better reveal and a way for the Bronx to come together instead of the girl going to tell the mom, and then she gets everyone, they all suddenly believe Miguel.
I forgive bad ADR a whole lot now that I've seen Beauty and the Beast. With Ian McGregor's bad ADR line of, hey, Cogsworth, we beat the clock, eh?
Yeah, it's weird. Ever since because of that, I now notice ADR lines a whole lot more.
I noticed some
the worst
too much.
The worst ADR in like a major motion picture I can still recall is when they're doing the long shot driving in the Leonardo DiCaprio Great Gatsby.
Oh man.
And it's like there's a full blown like a whole sentence he says that's just 100% off. And I'm like, holy God, that looks terrible.
The one that sticks out to me is Terminator Salvation. It's Common and John Connor, who's Christian Bale, are like standing on top of a hill looking at this machine city they're going to go attack. And Common says, my God, that got a whole city. And it immediately cuts to Common, whose mouth is shut. Like he did not just say that line. And I'm just like, there's bad. I hate you.
There's a line in, speaking of bad ADR, there's a line in Star Trek 09 where Spock and Kirk meet Scotty for the first time. And Scotty asks, are you from the future? And Chris Pine goes like from the back of the head. Yeah, he is. I'm not. I'm like, no.
Man, ADR is tough because like it's so commonly what it is that they're working around things that they've cut out of the film, and they either can't get the actor back into record, or maybe they can, but they still have to make it fit in the shots because they're not going back to refilm.
Yeah.
ADR is tough. I get it, but it looks real bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if we call this a bad AR line, but it's definitely our favorite. Let the girl speak.
No, that's why I say it. Just because, like, you can tell that somebody didn't say that in the room full of other people talking. It does not sound the same. It's just like, this was in a sound booth, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, back to this movie.
Yeah.
I really like the effect that they did visually for when the vampires put the victims in a trance.
It's like
like vibrating and like half the screen kind of loses part of their face.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool way of doing that. I really appreciated it. I always appreciate when you find innovative ways to do things like that that haven't been done before. And I thought that one was really good, really effective. Yeah. I do wish that they'd taken some kind of step a little further with the idea of why of just what Vivian's presence and the vampire's presence really means for the Bronx as an allegory, because Vivian has a really direct line where she says, what better place to set up than a place where where people already don't care when people die. And I'm like, that's really pointed. I wish there was a little bit more in the film that pushed that. But I mean, again, like comparing apples to oranges on like Lost Boys, this is very much in the exact same vein of like the quality level I'd expect for the audience that the age that I was when I saw Lost Boys, that this is who that's targeting. I think this is really a good film overall. I think it's a solid vampire flick. I think it's a solid Black representation perspective. I think it's a really good visual of a horror film taking place in the city, which captures a lot of the Attack the Block vibes, which we've talked about before. I think that they do all of those things very well. I just wish the third act was a little more polished. I think that the Vivian thing, the Vivian sticking around when there's a crowd, really gets to me. I'm like, this doesn't make a lot of sense from a wise vampire perspective. I can understand her like fighting the first dude. Also, I will say the gag with the two girls walking between the crowd and the vampire didn't land for me. No, I thought it was funny as an idea, but the execution didn't land for me.
I agree.
And that's another part of it that just kind of made it like literally as they were walking across the screen and it cut between them looking at her, I thought this is her distraction. This is how she gets away. Because this is too many people. And then it wasn't that. And I'm like, dang, what? And that's the weirdest part, I think, is because any other horror movie, even The Lost Boys, you'd have that kind of standoff moment where you think, oh, we got the villain on the ropes, all that. But they'd have to go and chase her down and stake her before she made more vampires. So they go and chase her in the next day, and that's where the real final confrontation would come from, because they wouldn't go in a big enough group. Well, and that's usually what would end up happening for one reason or another. So I'm surprised that that's not the route we took here.
Ben, you brought up like because I also thought it was going to be like the big block party was going to happen, and then there was going to be like a big vampire attack. I honestly wonder if this was just a budget thing, like because this is it seems like a pretty low budget movie
for sure,
and like. I also think like, okay, so we had the idea for this big ass finale. What if it's just her standing next to 20 people?
And
I'm like, okay, we can afford that. Which kind of stinks because like it does kind of feel like a fizzle out in a way.
It's also surprising that they again, like going back to Ben's idea that they never do the block party. Until the very end of the film, that it's not a part of the main plot events because
it's so built up.
It's the opening part of the film and what the boys are currently working towards.
It's the plot of the movie.
Of course, saving the bodega kind of becomes
like when they kill Tony and then the bodega's there really isn't any point to have a block party.
That's kind of
to save the bodega, and now that Tony's gone,
they shouldn't have killed Tony then.
To tell you the truth, what I kind of hoped is that Tony had been turned. I hoped that they were going to have to deal with the fact that Tony was now a vampire. That everybody was going to have to come to grips with that, because that would have had a lot of emotional stakes.
Fighting who you're trying to save.
I like the
that would be my other thing, is that like the vampires never turn anyone, so they never have to face like the fact that, oh no, we lost this person, we have to stake them, that kind of thing.
I like the running gag that Tony kept stocking more and more quote unquote white items in his bodega.
Or even the idea that like you could have ultimately saved Tony, which is in a sense is saving the bodega from gentrification. You're saving Tony from the encroaching white people, because when they kill Vivian, that would have, by vampire rules, depending on what lore you're working with, reversed his vampirism.
Again, same that could have happened with Bobby.
So that could have could have happened with Tony, and that could have been a whole thing. And I kind of wish they'd gone for that.
I agree.
Now that I'm thinking about that more, I think that would have built a nicer emotional arc for them. Plus, I thought Tony's character could have been able to do more in the film.
Like, because she explains I'm guessing the ashes of Vlad Dracula, that if I spray you and then bite you, you turn into a vampire.
That's a weird way to do that, but that's
she just blows the dust on Bobby. I'm like, oh, she gotta bite him, and then here comes Miguel.
Santa Claus?
No, that was Batman.
But here comes Miguel on his bicycle. On his bicycle, gonna joust and stab Vivian. It's like she could have And I know it's a movie. We have to put belief out or disbelief out the window. But she could have easily just went, "Oh, he's like 20 feet away and he's going pretty slow on his bike. Chomp, vampire now."
Yeah,
I mean that's the whole thing that like just that crowd facing her logically doesn't make a lot of sense for her to even do it that way.
Yeah.
In a lot of respects. So yeah, I feel you on that. I think the whole stealing the holy water bit works pretty well.
I love it.
I think that's entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
Comes in, those little shit stole my Sprite.
Yeah.
Product placement I'm okay with because that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that is. I like that. I thought that was funny.
I like the culmination of Bobby's arc in a sense, which is really the moment he has with Frank.
Yeah.
Where he's saying, "Yo, man,
they're the same
I get
people.
it. We are the same." And Frank has "That's what's up." And he's like, "Get out of here." I think that worked really well as a culmination of like talking about Bobby going down the wrong path and that kind of thing.
And who he could become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I overall liked the presence of the moms. I thought they were done pretty well, not overplayed, but used well. Except for the scene where they're first busted by the cops and Frank is there. And Bobby's mom seems to only be able to say, "I bet you put the others up to this, didn't you?" And like
four
really lay it
times.
on to him. And I'm like, dang. Like, I get saying it once, maybe twice, but holy cow.
Yeah, there was a whole scene where she just repeated that. I'm like, there's a screenwriter, isn't there?
Yeah.
One thing I did like is when they did fight the vampires after they were sleeping upside down, is Lewis who takes the wafer and says, "Body of Christ," throws it into the vampire's mouth. I'm like, that was a fun one-liner. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah. I thought Luis was pretty good. I liked the way that he talked about his knowledge of vampires. Miguel's very clueless about vampires other than recognizing one when he sees one.
Yeah.
I also thought the whole bit of Simon chasing him down worked really well. And how that leads to our first introduction of the vampire. Again, that dude has a lot of presence when Simon like calls him out and says, "You got a problem, man?" And he's like holding where the gun would be. And he's like, "Just walking."
Yeah.
And I wanted that vampire to have more personality.
I agree because he seems set up to be more important in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have much else to say.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we covered it pretty well. I think that just the whole idea of it and presentation overall is solid. It's a solid, enjoyable vampire film, kind of made for an all ages audience in a sense.
Yeah.
Certainly for like the 8-year-old and up audience.
It's got a couple swear words, but like
for
kids,
sure,
kids can deal with
but
that.
like nothing different from what like you said. The kids do a really good job of sounding like kids today.
Yeah. That's one thing I want to bring up. Yeah, like anytime like adults write kids, it doesn't sound real, and all of the dialogue that these kids were saying that sounded authentic to what kids say today. Like they were saying things like I remember one kid said dead ass and bet. Like when you say bet, you're like, all right, let's do this, bet. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually what kids sound like. So it's nice to have good kid representation instead of fake representation.
Yeah, I agree. I think that went a long way in making it like very relatable to the audience that it's targeting. I can totally see a lot of kids having reactions to this the way I did when I first saw Lost Boys and connecting with it. And I think that's really great. Yeah. I think this sits very nicely amongst the films I feel like it's most similar to, which is Lost Boys and Attack the Block.
Yeah.
What would you rate it then, Sparks?
Given what it's aiming to be and everything, I'd say an 8.5. I do find a few flaws. I think there are simple things regardless of the audience that you're going for. You could have cleaned up the third act, but overall, I think it does a good job of doing what it was set out to do.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go in a circle. So Ben,
the best circles are
sorry,
non-Euclidean, and you're right.
Ryan, what would you rate it?
I give it an 8. I think it's really fun. Like I said at the beginning, I don't think like it does anything to break the mold, but it does everything really, really well. If you're looking for a new kids versus vampires movie, you can't go wrong with this. It's a lot of fun.
Remember Scouts versus Zombies?
I never saw it, but the trailer looked good. I think I remember.
I saw a pre-screening of it, and I'll never forget because at that point it was called Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So that was the theatrical title I went with, but it was initially Scouts versus Zombies, and we saw it at that point, and we saw a pre-screening of it, and like, yeah, it was good. And I will never forget. Yeah, there was a zombie eating a good. Never mind. Anyway, so that they I was walking out, and 2 producers were standing there talking to a third, and they're like, so I emailed her back, and I said, is the title clear enough for you now, Karen?
Karen.
And I'll never forget that.
I love it.
Karen.
I will say that in like the vein of the films that this is would usually be held up to, I think that there could have been a touch more fun comedy going on amongst the characters.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's to its detriment. I think it's fine that it's not aiming for that. I'd rather it be this tone than like ham-fisted comedy.
Yeah.
If it means that the boys sound more real, that's fine with me. But it is a little surprising, generally speaking, when you get films like this, they're usually trying to be a little funnier, a little lighter in their moments in between the vampire scariness.
What was that? The kid in King Arthur's Court. What's that movie called? That recently came out.
Kid Would Be King.
Kid Would Be King.
Because that had kind of like a kids band together. Like
I like that movie.
That has a lot of comedy in it.
Yeah.
Too.
I like that movie. Ben, what would you rate it?
I would give it a solid 7. It's not bad. I still enjoyed it. I don't regret watching it. I feel like this is definitely a film you could watch where you want to watch that film that's something scary but not so horrifying that'll give you nightmares, like Halloween or Conjuring or stuff like that. It's a fun.
Or last week's episode of Lovecraft Country.
Or that.
Why aren't you watching that show, Ben?
Because Fanny's watching it and he can't watch it.
I can watch it. I just haven't made the time for it. But besides that, I still liked it. I had fun.
Cool. I think I'll agree with Ben on the rating. A solid 7. It's a good time. I don't regret watching it, but it doesn't really leave a lasting impact on me. Okay, so let's move into our book club. Sparks, it is your turn for the Fake Nerd Spook Club.
Yeah, baby.
Take it away.
I picked out Victor Lavelle's Destroyer, illustrated by Dietrich Smith with Joanna LaFuente on colors. And this is a spiritual successor to Frankenstein, the novel by Mary Shelley. This treats that novel as 100% having been the history of this world. That's what happened, and this is the follow-up to that story. I really enjoyed it. It takes place in 2017, so many, many years after the events of Frankenstein, and the creature is still out in the Arctic, because that's where he was left off in the books. And he gets pulled back into man's world and encounters Frankenstein's descendants are doing some shit that's a little too close to home for him. And I thought this was really good. What'd you guys think? Obviously, we're going to dig it. Yeah? Good.
I enjoyed it for the most part. It didn't wow me like I kind of wanted it to, but there's nothing wrong with not wowing. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Solid read. I like stuff with the creature. There's bits where he kills many humans, sometimes on accident. Accidentally kills these pigs, which I thought was a good moment.
Yeah.
I had fun with it. The ending definitely went into a way that I wasn't expecting. One of the characters I really enjoyed was the mom, Josephine, and how she kind of slips, even though I feel like her madness is justified in a way. At the same time, it's like, okay, you gotta put a stop to this somewhere. And I really liked how because this came out in 2017. I liked how topical it was, especially how it's pretty topical 3 years later. But also I enjoyed the twist on the Frankenstein, how there's got that logo of the I feel like it's some like government agency or environmental
lab.
The lab. Yeah, I feel like I've seen that logo before on a government agency thing. I can't remember, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I like this book a whole lot. It goes right into everything I love about comics, like what does it mean to have a soul and cloning and all that shit. And Josephine Baker, this is the second time we've actually talked about Josephine Baker on this podcast recently because she showed up. She's a dancing lady from the I Am Hippolyta episode. So it's cool that she's name dropped. She's the name of this character too.
And Josephine Baker is also the name of the famous jazz singer from the 1920s.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
That's who I'm talking about.
She was in Lovecraft Country.
I just got that. My God.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. I think this book is like what you do a like 21st century sequel to Frankenstein. It is taking that concept and just making it modern in every way you can, and making it about a Black family. And the things that Josephine does that she thinks is okay. Clearly, it's yeah, she might be justified because her son's dead, but she's created a monster.
I did like the line when the two agents were going to her house, and he's talking about like, you know, Lincoln and everything that happened with Lincoln, and someone was like, "She's not Abraham Lincoln." He's like, "I just don't want to be John Wilkes Booth."
Yeah, I don't want to, because she is a genius. Like she has created another Frankenstein through her son in a way. And like this agency wants her. The director wants her. She went rogue or whatever. Yeah, I think
she didn't go rogue. She's just like, I'm out because I'm having a kid.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. They basically.
She was out. I feel like she was outed because she had a kid.
No, the director. Yeah, you're right, Ben. The director was like, "You can leave."
Yeah, the director was like, "Join me." And the second Joe says, "I'm pregnant," she's like, "Oh, what a blessing! You must be so happy. Please see yourself out."
She felt that she put she put life over the agency, which is not what the director wanted from her.
Right. And my only point being, like, yes, the director said that. I do think that, like, just from the way Josephine talks about it throughout the book, that it is also something she kind of knew would happen the moment she was pregnant.
Yeah.
That if she was going to have a kid, she was going to be out of the lab, and it was a choice she was making, and she made it willfully and conscientiously.
What I absolutely love about this book is Josephine's morality, and how her zombie son is the thing that's keeping her human. Because she is the destroyer. She is the monster, and she will destroy anything to keep her son safe. That's what the book's called. There's a scene where like she basically might kill these people, and her son Akai, is it Akai? I think it's Akai. Yeah, her son says, "These men aren't those men who hurt me, Mom. You didn't raise me to be this way." And she's like, "You're right. You are the better me." And I think that is so strong, and especially at the end, like this. Making this an entire family book about making the bride also the dad, I thought that was so sick. And having like the white streaks on the robot, it's such an interesting way of doing that concept.
Yeah.
And like what that company does to the dad itself, and it's like all that stuff. I thought it was wild. I really liked it.
Like when the dad, when it's revealed that the dad is the bride and it's the robot, because I thought it was going to be another Frankenstein monster type creature that was like, you know, the bride of Frankenstein.
Yep.
Instead, it's a robot who's Akai's dad. And I'm like, that's new.
Yep.
That's interesting, and I actually dig it.
The agents who were brutally killed, their names are Agent Shelley and Agent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's real good. That's real funny.
Like Agent Shelley is like, I wonder who you're named after.
Yeah. I think the cloning stuff with Victor Frankenstein is super interesting.
I'm really glad about how it played out, because I'm like, this can't work. If this works, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Because
he can't be alive.
The monster hated Victor when it got to the end of the story. And he didn't care about the fact that he died, so he can't care about that. Like, it can't get to him. It can shock him for a moment, but I'm like, this cannot work. So when he bursts through the wall after, like, immediately, like, nah, nope.
That is so brilliant.
So good.
Also, I really love how that's built up, where Joe is showing the director is like, 3D printing has been around since 1983, but I have a version that can 3D print biological matter. So here's a chicken, but the problem is the chicken only lives for like 10 seconds and then it just decomposes.
Oh my God.
I really like. Go ahead.
And one of the things I love about that setup is that we get Victor Frankenstein, how he was like 3D printed, and then he sees another one being printed right in front of him. And he finally says, I live. I have consciousness. Why? And then he just and then they push a button, kill him instantly.
That's the shit I love, man.
Yeah.
Because what makes him any less of a person than you? That stuff's wild. I think the ending when Frankenstein Jr. has to fight Frankenstein, the monster Jr. He's like, my mother said I'm the only one who could kill you. Once you are sewn together, let's see what happens when I undo all your strings. And he in a very Franklin Richards-esque way, just like dematerializes him into existence until he's just like a Watchman, like skeletal muscle thing. And he's like, goodbye, brother.
Because Akai has this control with nanobots that
he
can use.
Again, 21st century, like, how do you bring people back? It's like through nanotechnology and stuff. And this is very similar to the video game Outlast, that's a whole game about them trying to do crazy experiments about immortality, and how do you do it? It's through nanotechnology. So it's a game about you fighting ghosts, but spoilers, it's not ghosts, it's nanomachines. It's wild. It's really cool.
I really like the slow reveal at the beginning of the book where Josephine is talking to her computer voice, and you don't know who that voice is for the first chunk of pages.
Yeah.
You later find out that it is the voice of her son.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good reveal, especially with the dream. I thought the dream was haunting, where she's remembering a time with him with the earthworm, and then he turns and it's the voice from the car. You still don't know it's supposed to be Akai's voice, and it's just like the slack-jawed zombie face, but it's like,
I'm turning the volume up.
You know that the volume, that I'm waking you up. Yeah.
It's haunting, man.
Really, really good stuff. I think all the stuff with the monster is done really well.
Yeah.
Every bit of his callousness towards mankind.
And how
I really appreciate it.
This is like you brought up the scene, Brandon, where he accidentally kills the pigs. There's multiple scenes where he doesn't mean to do this, but it just keeps happening to him because he's too strong.
The scene where he is going through the wall at the border. And it had shown the flashback to when he was being chased by villagers, and he said, "Please, I just need help," and he got cut off by an arrow to the throat, and then he's pulling down the wall on all these people who followed him.
He buries
all these
5
Mexicans,
people,
and it's falling on them, and the one little kid is like, "Please, I just need help," and just buried under it. The monster's just moving forward.
Very tragic.
I thought that was very good, strong representation of who the monster still would be at this point, if you are taking the novel as the true fiction. The way that the monster learns about these things being done through the iPad is really good. I thought that was a nice way for the monster to just get like pissed off and activated. I love the whole opening with the whalers and everything. Because he's connected with nature.
And the whaler lady's like, "Please join us. You would help us so much."
Because he destroys that boat, and there's that one bit where like he's covered in the blood and he's swimming under the water, and you just see like a blood silhouette of him.
I love that.
Towards the ship, and they're like, "Oh boy."
My favorite quote.
Like, he's coming this way.
Oh Lord, he coming.
It's like a zombie shark. My favorite quote is when the whole family's together, and it's issue 5 or 6, whatever. But Akai's on the slab, and then you got the bride, and you got Joe, and the dad basically calls Joe a monster, and she's like, "Is that what you're calling me?" And the dad's like, "I wouldn't blame you for falling apart after what happened." And she says, "I didn't fall apart. I turned to steel just like you did." And he actually turned to steel, where she emotionally turned to steel. And I'm like, oh my god, it's just one little panel with comics I love it. It's so good. It's such a, it really feels like, if Frankenstein were written today, this is how it would be. Just obviously in graphic novel form.
They do a great job of it. The story with Akai is that Akai was shot by a police officer because a probably white woman called and said that she saw a 18 to 19-year-old black man
with a rifle,
and
he came back from
really him
baseball practice
with a baseball bat from baseball practice.
Dude, the stuff,
and he was shot.
The stuff with his dad, where his dad goes to the cop,
and puts the nanobot into him and says, "At any point, at any time, I can take you out."
Yeah.
This is already more mercy and thought than you gave to my son.
But that is also
2 seconds.
What's also awful is that he's at a park. The cop's at a park with his daughter. And this guy's immobile, and he's like, "I wonder, is that your daughter over there in the glasses? I wonder what she think about what I'm about to do to you." And like, that's horrifying. And even he says, like, "I'm glad you never got to see what I became, Akai." And I'm like, man, that's the shit I live for. That's so sad.
Yeah.
Or even the part, because he actually does go to the daughter, because it's revealed, I want to say in the next book, in the next issue 6, maybe 6 or 5, one of those two, where we see the conclusion of that. Because I thought, oh my god, is he gonna go kill his daughter as revenge? But he goes back and is like, oh, she was very nice and warm and open to me. At least you didn't totally mess up in that way. I'm like, oh
yeah. That's when he leaves the one machine with him, and he's like, I'll kill you.
Suicide
Squad. There's just a lot of good stuff. I think the whole arc with the dad, the fact that the dad, Josephine really resents Pliers because he didn't follow her out of the lab, and the reason is because the director would have hurt them. Hurt his family if he didn't stay. So he
Akai's
had to
design
stick around for their protection.
Yeah.
At least that's how he felt. Josephine doesn't feel that way, but that's how he felt.
I really like Akai's the way he looks. It's like a very cool,
his design is really
like
good.
21st century, like Nano Frankenstein.
I like her tech suit in the end too.
Also, she's got the rogue strand of hair. Like, I'm always a fan of that.
Yeah. I really like Akai trying to connect with the monster, and then they kind of botch it.
Yeah.
Because Josephine gets too proactive against him when she starts to really lose her grip on everything. I really like her visualizing herself as like a god in the future, like how everyone will look up to her. She clearly does end up mentally in a similar space to where Victor was. Yeah. When Victor it got to the end of the book.
She even says, I'm past the point of redemption. Like, it's too late for me.
Yeah, she has a great part where she's saying how
all the stuff with her past and stuff.
I came here to lay waste to the. Is this the part? Hold on. She talks about her whole past where she had to pretend that it was okay, that because she did better than the other students, she was mistreated for it, having to always climb the ladder. I don't owe this country a damn thing except the same hate it's always given me, which is very pointed at the black part of this story, which I think is really effective and like lends a lot to her connection to Victor through Victor was doing what he was doing in her belief out of grief for the loss of his mom. And she's doing what she's doing because she's been pushed too far, and she has a whole lot more history behind that. And I think that's executed really well. Yeah. I just really enjoyed this. I thought this was really good. I also just really like that she does merge her consciousness into him when she dies.
Yeah,
when she's
I love it.
Monster.
That's great. And like in like 0.2 seconds.
So she's the voice in his ear, and she tells him to go to places like the bust of Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. The black man who founded Chicago, and think about why that isn't taught in schools. Who benefits from your ignorance? And she reiterates the who benefits from your ignorance part, which I really like, that it leaves you in a place of like, recognize. I just like them bringing the attention to it. Yeah. I just thought this was all done really well. I really like the look of the monster is very true to the description in the book, so I really appreciate that. I think his involvement is done pretty pitch perfect, I think. Yeah. For why he's there, what he's doing. I don't think it's ever messed around with, and I like how powerful he's represented to be. How
super strong. He is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think this is just a really solid story. I think this was a great Frankenstein 2.
Yeah, I think if this were like official canon, like this would be totally dope. I would believe this.
Yeah.
All right. Ben.
Yeah.
It's your book club next week. Do you know what it is?
I do. So I know you guys have been reading this title for a while. I unfortunately have been trade waiting for it. But this is the only really good spooky book I know I have. It is The Immortal Hulk. Yeah, it's Immortal Hulk. Immortal Hulk Volume 2, The Green Door.
Well, cool. Both Brandon and I have read that recently. I love it.
It's been a while.
I'm going to read it again. I'm excited.
I haven't read it, so I'm looking forward to it. It was either this or the Sonic, or half of the Sonic the Hedgehog Zombot saga. So I'm like, nah, this is probably the better one for you guys.
All right, I guess I can take off Immortal Hulk for my pick for the Fickner Book Club series.
Well, first of all, it wouldn't be your pick because you picked Power Rangers. So
no, I mean my list of potential picks someday.
Hey, well,
you can still leave it on. We'll just start at number 2.
All right.
So times I read that book.
Yeah, so that'll be next week. So stay tuned for that. Woo. Next week, we'll probably review another spooky movie. We don't know what yet. So
I have a suggestion, but I'll talk about it off the air.
Sure. So stay tuned for that. And of course, our Michael Moreci interview is coming to the audio feed. It'll be probably on Wednesday. And then that'll lead into a audio feed for the Fickner Book Club. So stay tuned for that on our audio listeners.
Woo!
Outside of that, if you're listening to the audio and you're not subscribed, or if you're just watching this, we got other shows on YouTube, on our page of YouTube. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. You get shows like our Fake Nerds Watch series, which we are currently going through Lovecraft Country. We're all caught up now. And The Boys, we'll probably do that within the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. We'll do a season recap.
I hope so.
And also our Basement Arcade series. New content coming soon from that. And we also have our Fake Nerd Book Club series, which we are currently doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Volume 4 and 5 is up now. Volume 6 through 8 is coming, and that'll be it. It'll be the last of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then we'll pick a new book.
Woo!
So stay tuned for all that cool, juicy stuff on this channel. If you'd like to support us, this is enough, of course, but if you want to do more, you can support us by buying our Fake Nerd Podcast masks, which the company Crafted by Z puts out. Guys, it's a mask. It's got a logo on it. You support us. You support the coronavirus beating. That worked out.
Sure.
You support beating the coronavirus. You support me getting to see my friends sometime this century. Check out those. We also have Patreon if you want to support. Look, I'm getting rid of the $25 tier. It was stupid. I don't know why I left it on that long.
Nobody bought it. That's why.
But we have our $5 tier, which is basically everything, and stuff early as well. Thank you to Joey's on, who is the currently only patron. Hey,
Love
guys,
you, Joey.
Joey's alone up there.
Gotta help JoJo.
Give us $5 more. Give us $5 and make Joey not alone.
There you go.
We also have a TeePublic. We have some really cool shirts on TeePublic. I'm a fan of our TeePublic. You can check out all those. All those links are in the description below, or you can find them at our website at www.fakenerdpodcast.com. I'm going to put up a new article this week, so check that out. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches. Thank you to people who've been watching this live for the past 7 months. I didn't know this was going to last 7 months.
Nobody did.
No.
So, thanks, guys. It's been really great. Thank you to everyone who watches the replay. Thank you to everyone who listens to the show on audio. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who does our music. If you've been listening to the audio, you've heard some of his musical stylings. Whenever we're not busy anymore, he'll give us new theme songs, so stay tuned. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. Of course, and you can find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist. If you want a good laugh, you can find that on iTunes or Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist and Instagram at Subproc Podcast. And of course, thank you to Mike Matola, who did 3 of our logos: Fake Nerd Podcast, Fake Nerd Book Club, and Miscellaneous. Mike, you're a great friend.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we can get you back on soon. It's a lot easier now. You're in Seattle. We're doing this. It's a lot easier now, Mike.
It's the internet. Very easy.
Yeah. So we can find him. You can find our good friend, Mike Matola, at Mike Matola. That was not shade at anyone we talked about at the beginning of the episode. You can find us also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Ben?
You can find me dancing on the grave of Nerdgasm at BedMedic27 on Instagram and Twitter.
I started it. I'm sorry.
No, technically Spark started it, and I'm finishing it. And also, besides finding me on my personal Instagram and Twitter, I also write for OldSchoolGamerMagazine.com. The newest article is going to be up tomorrow, or I'm going to be dead. No, I'm giving myself a hard deadline.
I'm gonna be really worried if you don't put up that article then.
Constantly refreshing.
Oh yeah.
Ben!
No, I started earlier this week. I haven't went back to finish it, but yeah, I'm gonna make sure it's going up tomorrow.
Sparks.
I am basking in the glow of Ben's dance over Nerdgasm's death. And you can find me doing that at SparksWitty on Instagram, Twitter, SPARKZWitty.
Ryan.
I've never been in a feud before. This is going to be dope. So I played a lot of Control. You can get a lot of memos in Control. This is one of the funny memos I found. I learned a brand new language. The fish have taught me. You probably don't believe me, so I will prove it. Huli lulilu metubi jamrubablap s ubi quido quiquido. See? Please publish this letter. Maybe other fish speakers will get in touch. Please. Thank you. I'm at DJ Tony Snark everywhere.
All right, subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts. Rate and review wherever you get us. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Until next week, guys. Jesus, I forgot again. Stay fake nerds.